cutting off my ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first annual Pass the Controller Game Awards Show, or I like to call it the Passies, featuring Brian, Civic-Minded Leslie, Eric, the Smoke Moran, and Mark, MCKNUX, Carter. And now, enjoy the show.
Coming in at number 40 this week. I was like, you did the whole Casey Kasem roll there. That was nice. I like that.
Hey, listen. I try, man. I try. Listen, that's what we do here, man. I try. What's up, everybody, man? This is a special season 3 finale of Pass Controller. Listen, this is what we do here. We pretty much come together. We're gonna start this as a yearly thing, man. Like seriously, this is freaking awesome. We are coming here together as a coalition, pretty much a group, like we always do, and we'll basically deliberate as far as the nominees go for each category. Now, that also could sway from your votes, man. So that's why we like to have all of y'all to come in the chat, check in with us, make sure that y'all do vote, because we will be definitely going by the nominees and just while we're deliberating, again, y'all guys are pretty much coming in and tell us what you want, man. Who do you want to win, okay? This is your award show, man. That's run by us, basically, man. So, without further ado, man, listen, before we get into this is the pre-show, man, before our Game Awards show starts at 7 o'clock, and we're going to talk a little bit amongst the panel here, man. Of course, we got my man, Brian, Civic-Minded Leslie. What's up, Civ?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the red carpet for the first annual PTC Gaming Awards, or as Knuckles called them, the Passies.
The Passies.
Look at this. Check this out. Look, we even have. Ooh,
look at that awards show. Oh, my God.
Platinum joystick award.
Look at that, man.
Okay, not to be confused with the golden joystick award.
My
and this
God.
is totally not just a regular joystick that I spray painted with silver paint.
It's not. It's not. No.
Very, very prestigious award. Okay, see, check it out. Totally legit. Yeah. So we're gonna be giving those out tonight. Very excited. So yeah, look at, I even wore my Space Invaders tie for the occasion and my Obama tan suit. We're good, man. We're rocking and rolling tonight.
You do have that Obama tan. I like that, man. I wish I pressed my suit out, man. My suit's a little bit wrinkled, but you can't tell because the camera actually kind of cleans it up well, man. You know what I mean? But your suit looks very good, man. And my man
Smoke?
My man here with the bowler hat, Smoke. What's up, cuz?
What's going on there, Mark? Mark, I see you're out there on the red carpet. So who do you see out there tonight that's here to watch our show?
Oh man, I see a lot of people, man. Listen, we got my man Cherry out here, man. He's doing big things in the Twitch chat right now, man. We got a lot of guests coming in, man. We have. I see.
Is that Nolan North?
That is Nolan North right there. That is Nolan North,
wow.
man. Yeah. Seriously. Look. Oh my goodness, man. We got some great. We got Hideo Kojima coming in right now, coming out of the freaking limo, man. Hideo.
Surprising that he didn't swoop in from a helicopter.
You know what's so funny? I can't speak Japanese that fluently, man, so I guess he couldn't understand me, man. But Hideo's out there. He's getting ready in, man. I mean, this is crazy, man. We got a lot of people that's lined up, ready for this award show, man. We got the fans that's lined up as well, too, man. This is going to be awesome, man. I cannot wait for this to happen, man. And really, we can talk a lot, man, about what we think, and we will talk about what we think will be the winners, man, because we've seen what the Game Awards have done, we've seen what they've chosen, but now it's our turn, man. This is going to be phenomenal to actually see who is going to take home one of those Passies, man. Those the beautiful Passies. Matter of fact, those are better than what the Game Awards gave out. Don't you think, chat? Those are better than what the Game Awards gave out, man. This is awesome, man. Seriously. So, before we get,
it's so awesome. It's disappearing in front of you. It's like going into the Matrix or something.
Exactly. Look at that.
Whoa.
Wait, are you sure that's not a bug from Cyberpunk? Am I having a Cyberpunk moment?
If 2020 was an award, it would be this.
If 2020 was an award, yeah,
I'm glitching. It's the Bethesda award.
Yo, you ain't getting it.
It's not the CD Projekt Red one.
Yeah, you know it. The wonders of modern technology.
Oh, exactly, man. This
I
is
love
this is amazing, man. Like I said, this is a beautiful day, a beautiful night, man, to pretty much have a nice award show to end the season 3. And again, guys, like I said, we can do this every year, you know, because we just can. This is us, you know what I mean?
We have no other things going on in our lives.
We have nothing else better to do than to just deliberate on who should be the best video games ever, man. And to mind you, people, that we do have certain categories, and I'm just going to run it off real quick too before we get into our show. We do have the best multiplayer experience. We do have video game character of the year, video game movie of the year, which is a surprise. We also have video game console of the year. We have the wow moment. We also have flub of the year, which thing was garbage this year, which epitomizes 2020.
I think we know where that one's leaning right now.
We have the surprise of the year, the feel-good moment of the year, the PTC show moment of the year, which is going to be awesome. We have the soundtrack of the year, the Lifetime Achievement Award, which is not going to one person but 2. So we're going to talk about that as well too. And to top it off for tonight's show, we have the game of the year, the official game of the year, as well as the other game of the year. So you have to stick towards the end of the show to find out, man. So, and again, guys, listen, this is going to be so much fun for all of us, man. We're going to be having a lot of fun. And chat, to the audience over here, I hope you have fun yourself. And remember that when we talk about the certain categories, you can vote by being on the chat, being on our Twitch, being on our Facebook, and being on our YouTube. Everything's open. You have a say in who's the winner. So make sure you vote, man, as we deliberate each category. But before we do that, because we have at least about less than 25 minutes to show, we're going to talk a little bit about what we've been playing. And mostly, I think all of us have been playing Cyberpunk 2077. Is that correct, Civic?
Been trying to.
Tell us a little about that.
Let's talk about Cyberpunk. All right. Before we get into this, I want everybody to know 2 very important things. So first of all, I am only 3.5 hours into the game. 3.5. So I'm barely into it. In fact, I am 3 hours, 34 minutes, and 13 seconds exactly. That's how long I played the game. That's how long I played the game until it crashed on me. Told me it was done playing with me. So, okay, I'm playing it on PS5. All right, which might come as a shock because everybody's heard about how good and how relatively stable it is on PS5. Okay.
Right.
So here's what's going on. So I've encountered 3 different things as I'm playing. I've encountered some minor glitches. I've encountered some moderate glitches, and I have encountered some fatal flaws. Okay? So the minor stuff are things like like little graphical things, nothing that really influences the gameplay per se, but just little flaws here and there. Like there'll be items that pop up that you can scan your environment for. You'll see them, you'll go over to them, try to interact, and you can't. Either they're clipping through, or they're not accessible, or they didn't code them to be interacted with, whatever.
Right.
There were also some moderate glitches. Like, so for example, I think Smoke, you said you encountered the same thing. There's one of the tutorial phases that sort of locks you out. It's a known glitch. It's in one of the like virtual reality tutorial phases there, where you have to mark enemies and practice stealth and everything. So I had to shut the game down and restart it. I had to reload the save and everything. And then finally I got through. It's not a big deal, but it was kind of a nuisance. There was also an instance where I was walking down a corridor. There were no enemies around whatsoever. I was just walking around. All of a sudden, my character stepped on a trash bag that was just there, like in the environment, and I took half my damage down. I was like, what the hell is going on? And
stepping on a trash bag. Okay.
I walked back over, and I looked down, and I walked over it again, and my guy died.
What? Seriously?
For no reason whatsoever. So all that is inconvenient, but the thing that bothered me was at the 3.5 hour mark, like I said, all of a sudden the game just froze and crashed, and I sent my error report to CD Projekt Red, and I was done. And I just decided at that point, I'm just going to wait till February. I mean, I have tons of games I'm playing right now. I'm playing Until Dawn. Like, it's part of my backlog games for PS4. I'm playing that now. I don't hate Cyberpunk. I think that at the core, it's going to be a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I have high hopes for it. I think it's there's a lot of reasons why it came out the way it did.
Right.
You're gonna have to remember, Shigeru Miyamoto once said, what do you say? A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad.
Facts.
That mentality's changed over time, because now we can, launch games and fix them later, with patches and fixes and all that kind of stuff. But the problem here is, you can have a game that comes out late and people will forgive it. You can have a game that comes out on time and isn't perfect, and people will learn to live with it, or they're going to fix it. But you can't have both.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This game was very delayed and very, very flawed. And if I'm seeing these flaws on PS5, I can only imagine what PS4 and earlier Xbox gamers are seeing. Their tech that was like 7 years old at this point. So, yeah, what do you think, Smoke? What do you feel playing here?
Well, yeah, I had a different experience. Now I'm 35.24 seconds hours in.
Man,
so I've been playing it on PS5, like heavily grinding it. So my experience has been a little bit different. There have been a couple times where the game will glitch, and a notification will come up from PS5 to let me know to report it, and I report it, and then I go right back to the game. Now, they just added a new patch, which no one expected. Everyone thought there was going to be a patch coming in January and February. That still is coming, but they added a new patch late last night, and for all intents and purposes, there are a couple things that are still being worked on. They still need a lot of polishing. I had a lot of fun with the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think, in my viewpoint, they should have took a page out of Microsoft's. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel that they should have took a page out of Microsoft.
I can't believe you're saying that either.
Book. But Halo, for example, when people got the feedback from Halo and they saw how bad it was received, they went back and said, "Hey, we're putting this game out the end of 2021, towards the end of 2021." I think the CD Projekt Red had turned around and did just that, pushed it back to summer of next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would have gotten a little bit of flack for it because they kept putting it off. But I think they would have, and also at the same token too, not have it come out on PS4 or make it exclusively for new generation consoles, not charging the new generation console price. And I think it would have been more well received.
Right.
And it would be a heavy contender for Game of the Year next year. As so far right now, they're taking a lot of hits. Now, I do give them their props that CD Projekt Red went to PlayStation, because everybody thought it was PlayStation that made the decision, but it was actually CD Projekt Red went to the decision and went to PlayStation and said, "We're going to we want you to take it off their system, take it out the PlayStation Store. We need to really polish this game."
Right.
So I give credit where credit is due. I mean, they're taking the L. They're turning around. They're going to try to make these changes. I got a feeling come next year that once they really get down to it and really polish it,
mm-hmm.
and really do what needs to be done, for those people like myself and PC gamers that already have it, hey, those are the people, we'll reap the benefits because we already have the advantage of playing it. But right now we're hitting all the bugs, the glitches and all that, but that's fine. It was one of those few games I run into that had this kind of problem. So yeah, they kind of misled on a lot of different notes promoting this game. They misled a lot of the PS4 and Xbox One owners, or should I say the old school console owners. And I think that was not cool for them to do that. So hopefully they will learn something from it, and other game developers will learn something from this,
mm-hmm.
and try to not mislead the consumer. Because if you do, this is the kind of stuff that will happen to you.
And
so I think this is a wake-up call.
About taking, CD Projekt Red taking the L, as you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Their stocks right now have taken a hit. They've lost over $1 billion with a B, dollars since last Wednesday. It continues to grow. So heads are rolling right now over there. And, I'm not wishing anything bad upon anyone. I'm not trashing the game or the developer or anything. I think this is one of those teachable moments in gaming history, because it needs to be said, and I don't think this is an over exaggeration. And I'll prove my point in a second here by mentioning some other instances. But in my opinion, and I think most people will agree, this is the worst video game launch of all time.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, you know what? To Civic, to slide into that comments DMs real quick. They said, and I've been listening to a lot of other like video game podcasts. Shout out to Kind of Funny Games, man, who I listen to faithfully, and they said that this is the worst. They say this is worse than Anthems. That shows how much hard.
Let me put this in context for everybody so you understand. So, a couple of years ago, back during the Xbox 360 and PS3 era, Dead Island launched, and when it came out, everybody complained about the quality of it, and the developer even admitted within, I guess 48 hours of launch that the game had over 40 critical errors that had to be fixed. They were game-breaking errors. Now, that game was fixed, and it went on to be it's like one of my favorite games. I love Dead Island. I find it to be super fun. So it is a great game, but that game was considered to be atrocious when it came out, but people forgot. Like all these years later, people don't remember it for that. Another example is, a worse example, in my opinion, is probably Aliens Colonial Marines. Now, that game, about that. Yeah, people felt misled. People said that the footage that they were shown during CES and different PAX, I guess, they showed different footage before the game came out, and it didn't even resemble the final product even like a little bit. And people were furious, and rightfully so. And as it turned out, it was because of that falling out between Gearbox and Sega, and them spending Sega's money to develop a Borderlands game. And I mean, it was a whole debacle. I would say the second worst video game launch of all time. Man, this used to be my number one. This is what I thought was the worst launch of a game ever. Right. But now it is bumped now to number two. Duke Nukem Forever. They spent 15 years making that game. They had 15 years. That development stage crossed 3 generations of gaming platforms, and when it came out, they still couldn't get it right. It was absolutely horrible. It's considered one of the worst games. It is the worst game in the franchise, Duke Nukem franchise. It's one of the, people consider to be one of the worst games of all time. I mean, I just don't know what they were thinking. But in the case of Cyberpunk, I think it breaks a real rule here, because I don't consider it a bad game. After all is said and done, I think that when this thing gets fired up, when this thing is figured out, it's going to be great. I really do. I have huge hopes. This is a super ambitious game. For the 3.5 hours I did play, I see a ton of potential in this. I mean, it really shoots for the moon on this thing. So, I can't fault the developer for issues I don't really know that caused them to launch it before it was ready. I know that people were becoming impatient. I just wish they would just given themselves enough time. Years ago, Polyphony Digital was notorious. Every time they would announce a new Gran Turismo game, it never came out on time. It was like 1.5 years later, like Gran Turismo 2 came out, or Gran Turismo 3. They never launched their games on time, and fans of that series accepted it. And the reason why is because it didn't matter how long you waited or when it came out. When it came out, the game was perfect, just perfect. It was always worth the wait. You just had to trust the system, as they say in Philadelphia.
Right. I hate you with that slow.
I
hate you, dog. I hate you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't disagree. I'm not going to trash that game at all. I just think that it's horrifically flawed right now in a lot of ways. I mean, just moments ago on our site, I just found a story that said, if your game save files exceed 8 megabytes in size, they'll permanently corrupt. They'll automatically corrupt. So, they gotta fix this stuff. These are game-breaking bugs. These aren't just inconveniences. These just aren't like little nitpicky things. Some of these things are major catastrophic flaws that clearly they did not debug. And they admitted as much. They said that they didn't spend as much time looking at the earlier PS4 and Xbox One S versions of the game. Or wait, which one are we at? What was the last Xbox?
Xbox One.
Whatever. The Xbox 3 or 4, whatever the hell, whatever we're up to.
Right.
The last generation Xbox. Thank you. Yeah, so they didn't spend enough time really, qualifying the game on that platform.
Right,
So
right.
it is what it is.
And, it's so funny, man, because and a lot of people in the chat is actually chiming like crazy as far as what's going on with Cyberpunk, man. Real quick, Cherry and Twitch, man, said they need to make it playable in general. I mean, that's the long fact of it all, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I should have put that as last as far as statement goes. Basically, they said it's like even he also another good point. He says, I have to say these issues in Cyberpunk are scarily close to the same issues that happened in the Division 2. I don't know if any of y'all played Division 2 because I ain't touched Division 2 yet.
I have. I know Smoke did.
Yeah. Now, was the same issues from Cyberpunk was happening as
No,
far as
it wasn't the
Division?
same issues. They had similar issues, but you got to remember too, there's a difference. The Division was an online game,
Right?
So you are going to expect that there's going to be problems because you're playing online versus single campaign where you're not playing online. Can you imagine if we had multiplayer on that?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine we had multiplayer on Cyberpunk? I mean, seriously, it's good that they saw the problems. I mean, that they're now realizing that the error of their ways. And again, like this to bounce off of Civ's comment, the game is fun. I mean, if you can get past the minor glitches on PS5, for example, I would tell most people wait for it to come out on PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do yourself a justice by playing it on PS4 because you're not going to get the same fulfillment as you would on PC or PlayStation 5 or even Xbox Series X.
Right.
Because again, it's graphically, it's amazing. Again, it's glitchy at times, but not as bad as it was on PS4. After seeing the stuff on PS4, I'm like, I was going to give a copy to a friend of mine for a PS4. But seeing all the stuff that's been going on, I'm like, there's no way in hell. I'd be like, that's like giving someone coal for Christmas.
I do want to say though, I distinctly remember, and this isn't my way of saying I told you so, but I did tell you so, and not you guys, but I mean just in general. There was a show that we did a couple months ago, and I confessed during the live show that I canceled my pre-order for Cyberpunk because I said just everything I had heard at the time, it just seemed like it was in development hell. And I knew one of two things was going to happen. The game was either going to come out and it would suck, which hasn't happened because I don't think it sucks. But the other thing I thought that could happen is it's going to come out and it's going to be a very rough start for this game. I don't think it's going to get up to speed for months. Now, this is so high profile. This story is being reported on CNN, MSNBC, Bloomberg report. Like, it's not just within the gaming realm that this is making news. This is a big deal. And this is also the first time that a game has been pulled from the PSN store after launch. I don't think the significance of that can be overstated. That is a major deal. You're talking about entering into a new console generation with a game that was supposed to be a flagship game to carry us into this, brave new world just before the holiday season, and they pull it. And they're offering refunds. Now, I mean, listen, I'm not doing that. People need to chill the hell out, okay? You don't need a refund. You need to be patient, okay? I know that that's asking a lot. I know everybody feels they waited a long time and they're not getting the game they paid for. I respect that. But grow up, right?
Listen,
I mean, it's going to be fine. It's going to be, people just... Has 2020 not taught us anything yet about being patient, being understanding? It'll work. Just give it like 2 months or more, but it'll be fine. Don't worry. Don't refund. Don't actually, refund. Come on.
And actually, in harmony with what you said, Civic, on the Facebook chat, Edwin, of course we call him, Latin, my boy Latin right there. He says, I'm so going to invest since they will start to climb back up as if nothing happened. By this time next year, it will be back to where it was, so.
Hey, No Man's Sky had the same thing happen.
Facts.
Remember
I was going to tell
out,
people about that too. Yeah.
Everybody was crying about No Man's Sky. It's not perfect. It's not perfect.
You know what's so funny,
okay?
Seth?
It's winning awards now.
And that's the thing. I was a day one No Man's Sky player, and I exactly did the same thing. I was like, this game sucks balls. And I was like, what in the world? Like, why did I buy this game? And then looking at the past Game Awards, I was like, really, this game won an award? Like, for what? I was like, really? It's my fault being a day one player, but it's my fault as well too, not sticking around to see the improvement. So I can see, that things happen, things will change. So I do agree. Don't, in the sense, don't kind of refund it, kind of hold on to it, you know what I mean? If you're going to play it for the next gen, if you're going to play it on PC, you know what I mean? Just hold on to it, you know, but people want to play it day one. People want to get the experience of it now or nothing at all, man, you know?
My post-mortem on this whole situation is a couple things. There are multiple levels of truth behind this. Is the game flawed? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Should people be upset? Yes. Did Sony do the right thing? Yes. Did CD Projekt Red do the right thing? Honestly, yes. You know, do you have the right for a refund? Yes. Should you get a refund? I don't think so.
No.
I think that's, come on, you're only punishing yourself. Be a part. Listen, you can still play the game now. It does work. It's just not superb. Okay.
Right.
Now, I'm not advocating anybody saying, well, you know, it's almost like saying you buy a car that's a lemon and you know, just drive it anyway. No, I'm not saying that. If you're not happy with what you bought,
bad analogy, man.
certainly you should, you know, protect your investments. I get that, but it's not as though this thing is not being addressed. Everybody knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
People at CD Projekt Red are working on it. It's going to be okay. I really do believe that. I think that the thing is we sort of have to learn some things. I think the industry itself has to learn some hard lessons from this.
Right.
But I think gamers need to learn a little bit too, is when we don't temper our expectations with regard to these big, almost quadruple A games, because let's face it, games like Cyberpunk and Death Stranding and Grand Theft Auto, I'm talking above AAA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are quadruple A games. Like it makes or breaks an entire console, literally, right?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of look at it like, hey, we're all going to have to kind of be a part of the process here. I don't know. And Smoke, I think you'd agree because we talked earlier and I mean, you're there. I'm glad you're playing it. I think that's awesome. You're probably more qualified to speak on it than I am.
You got to remember, and I joked about it, but I was for real. I got both Cyberpunk for my Xbox Series X and for the PC, PlayStation 5.
Which one do you like better on? Which one runs it smoother?
Graphically wise, I played the first 10 hours of it on Xbox Series X. It's actually even more sharper on Xbox Series X. PS5 plays, to me, reminds me of it like I'm playing it on PC.
Okay.
Not saying that it is a PC, but it's playing like if I was playing it on a PC. So with the bugs and glitches, but not over the top like it has been for PS4 and Xbox One. And again, you know, but again, my experience, I would not be up 4 a.m. playing the game if I did not think that the game was worth playing.
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I can understand why some of the people are saying that this game will never probably end, because if you follow not just the storyline, but if you do all the side gigs between the storylines, again, you build up your street cred, but you will become the most powerful cat in the neighborhood,
mm-hmm.
and you'll be able to take on the missions a lot easier. That's why they tell you and they stress to you to do the side quests, so you build up your street cred, you build up your money, you build up your level, so when you're ready to take on the main story, it won't give you such a hard way to go.
Right.
Plus, I will say this, there are so much hints and so much free stuff you can get in this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even funny. I'm the most invincible dude right now because I didn't have to pay for a lot of this stuff. And they're like, all you gotta do is go on YouTube and look at some of the hints that they give you and places you can go. There are a lot of unlockable stuff that you can find without having to pay all this money. You can still be the richest kid on the block,
mm-hmm.
but you could be also the smartest kid by having some of the most badass weapons on your person as well as what you carry. I'm telling you, I got all these.
Look at that Cyberpunk.
They tell you that, and they stress it to you.
Yeah.
Don't buy the vehicles. You want a certain vehicle, you'll probably get it for free,
right,
if you play the game right.
That's true.
So
That's
I
true.
highly recommend, for those people who are playing on PC, you know what I'm talking about. But those people who have it on PS5, Xbox Series X, that are going through the game, soldiering through, and not worried about glitches and all that stuff, and they just enjoying themselves.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do, I'm telling you right now, if you're having a hard time, go to YouTube. They got so many hints of unlockable stuff. It is the coolest thing. I remember I was trying to reach Civ and tell him, dude, before you play it, you need to know, I got this smooth vehicle. It is like the Batmobile. I just finally unlocked it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
what you need to do is you need to post up a link to that that YouTube tutorial on our site.
Facts, yeah.
I gotta check that out too. That would be really helpful. But guys, I tell you what, I'm looking at our clock here, and I see our producers in the background are giving us the high sign. I think it's probably time, Knuckles, we hand out a couple of awards here. Is it?
It is time, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, this is going to be so much fun, man. We are going into the official first annual Pass the Controller Game Awards show, man. Listen, this is going to be amazing, man, because we got a lot of stuff to share. We got so much clips to show, so much pictures, and oh my goodness, man. We're going to deliberate. And again, guys, remember, for you guys in the audience, for you gamers in the audience, your vote counts too, okay? So it's not just us, man. We're not just going to be the final say. Your vote also counts too. So make sure that when we talk about the different categories and we're going to deliberate over the categories and the nominees, when we deliberate over it, guys and girls, gamers, whoever, listen, you all have the say as well. So make sure that you definitely put your vote in the chat too. Let's start with our first category, and the first category is something that's really good. It's best multiplayer experience. Best multiplayer experience. And I'm gonna go through these categories one by one. So, best multiplayer experience. We have to say something before we start with the categories. I forgot. What? Oh yeah. Okay.
We have to address the elephant in the room. We gotta talk about Among Us real quick, and why Among Us is not eligible this year. You want to explain why there? Because you're the Among Us guru.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. And I know people are going to hate me for this one, but for this Game Awards, we are definitely counting everything in the year 2020. Of course, everybody knows that Among Us is a 2-year-old game, okay? So when the actual Game Awards that just happened last week said that the Game Awards, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I think I was talking to one of my friends, I was doing a chat with Vegas Bear, he's in the chat right now. I said, this is bull, cuz, like seriously? Among Us winning an award and it's 2 years old, man? Like, okay, that means that games far back can come back up and rise and all that. If it's popular again, that kind of shifts everything, you know? So Among Us will not be in these nominees for any categories for 2020 PTC Game Awards show. So yeah, I'm sorry, audience, man. We're going to actually tell you that it's 2 years old. It is 2 years old.
Because I was about to say, I thought you were going to be a sus. I was like, wait a second.
Listen, I'm always sus. The whole chat knows I'm sus, man. So yeah, the whole chat, every time I play Among Us, the whole chat knows I'm sus. But that's beside the point. I'll backtrack on that one. We are going to actually go into we're gonna go into best multiplayer experience, and the first nominee for that is we're gonna go to here we go, baby. Oh boy, we're gonna go to my favorite game. I like this game. It's Predator Hunting Grounds, man. We got Predator Hunting Grounds as number 1. Okay, so that's for the best multiplayer. We also have not Among Us. Ooh, I was about to say Among Us too, man. We have Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout as part of the nominees. We also have Animal Crossing New Horizon, which I picked as a sleeper for Game of the Year for this year. You know, it wasn't going to beat the big 3, but it was definitely going to be a sleeper, my pick. Also in the nominee section, we have Doom Eternal. Now, this Doom Eternal didn't really get that much love, man. So, you know, I guess, you know, hey, whatever you call it, was it worth, you know, being mentioned this year? Who knows, man. And also, we have Genshin Impact. Now, a lot of people are playing Genshin Impact now. I've just got into the Genshin Impact hype, so I kind of know how that game is. But the only thing is counted as a multiplayer once you reach, and the chat can kind of prove me wrong on this one. I think you have to reach level 15 or 16. Chat, go ahead and put your input in that. I think level 15 or 16. So you have to grind through the game solo in order to play multiplayer. So, but we'll still count this as a multiplayer game. And our final nominee is Ghost of Tsushima Legends, man. Now I know Civic, you and Smoke was playing this as well too, man. And yes. So basically, those are the 6 nominees for best multiplayer game. Guys, let's talk about that real quick. And pretty much like let's deliberate real quick. Let's get your thoughts, man. What do you think before we get to the chat? You know, your thoughts and feelings on who should be the best multiplayer game this year?
It's a tie between Ghost of Tsushima and Predator Hunting Grounds to me, because again, as you guys know in past episodes, I've stated that how much I'm not a fan of multiplayer games. Well, let me just say this: this is those two individual games are one of the first few games I ever enjoyed playing multiplayer,
right?
And playing with a group of friends, sitting down and playing for a couple hours on both games. Again, Predator was just a lot of fun. We were just having so much fun with that. And then Ghost of Tsushima, we're waiting for you, Mark, to get your Ghost of Tsushima on. So this way, we're all together as a group, and then we can. So you're missing out, and because I stopped playing until we get everyone together. But for Predator Hunting Grounds, yeah. And so to me, it's a cross between those two.
So if you had to have the final say, Smoking, as far as like who'd you give who'd you lean towards? What would it be?
I would have to say it would be Predator.
Be Predator, okay.
Not just the nostalgic reasons. Even though I love Ghost of Tsushima Legends for so many reasons. Not only that, because it's a free DLC. They have a lot of. It's kind of hard. The reason why I say Predator, the fun factor, because it's nothing hard to like really learn. You're still learning as you go. You can play single, you can play doubles, but with Predator Hunting Grounds, it's not just a nostalgia factor, it's the fun factor.
Right.
We're all looking out for each other. We got one of us is the Predator. It's just, to me, it was more engaging with a lot of fun. I'm waiting for all like a four group of us getting together to play Ghost of Tsushima Legends, because I think once we all get on board, it'll be a lot of fun because you're playing among friends. But Predator, we were the three of us, including with other people that we had on board. We had so much fun just engaged. Even when we were playing strangers, the three of us are working together as a team. And so it's just, to me, I got to go with Predator.
Go with Predator. How about you, Civ? Before I get my vote in, Civ.
I mean, I got to say, I don't think that the impact of, Fall Guys can really be downplayed. That game came out of nowhere and it was extremely popular. It's a simple game, simple premise, but it's endlessly entertaining. So for me, that's still got to be in the top 3 of the nominees.
Okay.
I think Doom Eternal for me was not as good as Doom 2016, but still good. But I don't think it's for as far as what it offers. I don't think that's anything that's like mind blowing, especially for like the world of Doom. There are other good Doom games. Doom Eternal is a good Doom game. It's a nominee. I can't get with Animal Crossing. Really, it's not my scene. It's just a personal preference. It's a quality game. I'm not, I know people love it. It's not my pace really. Genshin Impact is cool, but it's a Zelda clone, which is not, I'm not besmirching the game. Again, I think it's a quality game. It kind of took everybody by surprise. But yeah, I'm with Smoke. It really comes down to Ghost, or it comes down to Predator Hunting Grounds. And I'm shocked at what Smoke said, because I thought he was going to go with Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
And I was going to have to fight him because I was going to say Predator Hunting Grounds. And I'm glad that he and I are in agreement, because honestly, that was the most fun I had doing multiplayer this year. Yep. Predator Hunting Grounds is a total sleeper. That game's fun. The developers, Ilphonic, they're doing a great job of supporting the game. They're always coming out with new content, free maps, upgrades. They're always tweaking things. It reminds me of a lot of like Dead by Daylight, how that game had a good start, but man, over time, it just grew into its own thing. And Predator is fun.
Yes, it's
just fun. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but I think it's a multiplayer game experience of the year. I would give the award to that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the group saying. What's everybody?
You know what? Now the chat is going crazy. Listen, a lot of people are they're saying they're giving a lot of praise to Fall Guys. Matter of fact, in Twitch, Low Life Stormy also says that Fall Guys was good, but it died fast. I do agree with her. It did kind of die fast. It's like I got to kind of force myself to play Fall Guys. Matter of fact, Season 3 just came out recently. For those that are wondering, Season 3 is like a little winter wonderland. It's so much fun. Actually, with the stages that went in Season 3, kind of rekindled my love back for Fall Guys, man. So Fall Guys was definitely my top 3. I'll put it this way, because I didn't play Ghost of Tsushima Legends yet. So I do want to jump in with you guys on that as well too. But if we're talking about like top 3, we're talking about definitely Fall Guys, definitely Animal Crossing, for the fact that it was such an impact during this year, during the COVID times where people had to stay in. Animal Crossing held up a lot of the sanity of us gamers, man. For those that did play Animal Crossing, and a lot of people appreciated it, man. Again, I'm glad that it was given a nod for Game of the Year for this year. And again, that was my sleeper to win Game of the Year, the Game Awards, because it wasn't going to beat the big 3. It wasn't going to be Final Fantasy. It wasn't going to beat Ghost of Tsushima. It wasn't going to beat Last of Us. You know what I mean? But that would have been my sleeper, and I'd be like, you know what? If Animal Crossing won, I wouldn't have been mad. You know what I mean? So that would have been top 2 and 3. My number 1, I have to agree with you guys, is Predator. It's definitely Predator. You know what I mean? Because again, the multiplayer experience that we've had so far, and just the 4 of us, including my man, the 4th host, Nick, that's in the chat as well too, man. I mean, to have all of us in there, man, to be tactical, man. And I agree, and if you guys haven't, or the audience, if you haven't played Predator Hunting Grounds, I recommend it, and do it with a group. Like, we really got to get back to that game too, man. Like that game.
One thing I agree. It's really cool, and this is what really got me on board, because originally I wasn't really looking at that game, and I think I fell into the same trap as a lot of people. But Smoke has the recommendations. Smoke knows what's up. He hit me up. It was like 1 a.m. or something. Like, yo, B, you got to check this game. Yo, did you see the trailer? It looks awesome. And I'm like, I looked at it and I'm like, he's excited about it. And it's a multiplayer game. Mm-hmm. So that's rare for him. I'm like, it must be really good. And I played, I'm like, yeah.
Yep. So
great fan service game too.
It is a lot of great. It's a great.
Fan service game. So are we good?
We are good. We're going to announce the winners, because I've seen a lot in the chat. We're going to announce the winners, and drum roll, please. I got the drum roll music right here. And the winner is.
I'm glitching. The award for best multiplayer experience goes to Predator Hunting
Grounds, man. Yep.
Yes, give it up. Give it up for Predator Hunting Grounds.
Predator Hunting Grounds, man, was definitely good.
Get to the chopper. Put it on the chopper.
Yo, you know what I miss? I miss people like actually. Who was playing the song? Who was in the chopper? Was it you, Smoke?
That was me.
Dude, good job on that one. Because
little Richard, man.
Yeah, Little Richard. Every time I was like,
Little Richard.
Dude, the late Little Richard. Dude, let me tell you something, man. That put the nostalgia in me. I was like, man, I feel like I was in the chopper. My heart was racing, cuz. My heart was racing, man. Listen, I never had experience where my heart was racing every time. Like, dude, mud up. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh my god,
mud up,
dog.
But you know what? But the other fun thing was we were doing it during the week. We were doing it on a weeknight, not just on a weekend. And that was the crazy thing. So we were like 9 o'clock. All right, we all suiting up. Yep, you ready to go? Yeah, we're ready to go. So it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, man. So congratulations.
Is the audience cool with our pick, or are they already tuning out?
The audience is cool with our pick. The audience is talking. The audience is giving praise to a lot of the games too, man. But cool. There could only be one game, and the audience has chosen Predator Hunting Grounds to be the best multiplayer game, man. So congratulations to Predator Hunting Grounds, man. They couldn't be here to give the speech, man, but we can tell you that they are pretty appreciative. We're actually going to.
I would like to thank the people at Passies Control for this very last award. Wow.
I'm gonna have me some fun tonight.
There you go.
Have me some fun tonight.
I'm gonna tell you, you know what's so awesome too?
Son of a bitch.
And the awesome thing is, especially with you guys voting on chat as well too, we're going to actually go ahead and CIVICMINDED give a good idea. We're going to tweet to the developers of the games, man, and tell them that they actually won the Passies, man. We're going to actually go on Twitter and tweet to them and say, hey, you won this, man. And we'll pretty much they'll thank the fans, they'll thank you guys. You know what I mean? So we'll definitely tweet to the developers of Predator Hunting Grounds, man. So that's awesome, man. Next, on to our let's see, what's the other category? X2, our video game character of the year. Now, here's the thing. Video game character of the year is a special. It's pretty much who we think that kind of stood out as far as the impactful character, man. Now, again, this is This is pretty much brought to you by us. Now, when we say the categories as well, we say the nominees, chat, we definitely want you to vote and say, I lock in as this character. That's my vote, you know what I mean? So let's get into the nominees, shall we?
Yep.
The nominees for Video Game Character of the Year. Put this over here. Here we go. Is my man, Jin Sakai.
Yes.
Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima, of course, man. We have Jin Sakai here. Next up, we have the Fall Guys guy. that's also nominated as Video Game Character of the Year. Next up, we also have Pirate Tawna. Now, this is unique, man, because again, this is a NPC that is now a playable character with a revamped, relook, man, and abilities that you couldn't fathom. So I like this pick right here. Next up, we have the Doom guy from Doom Eternal. And then we also have Abby. Now, I love Abby. I love Abby's character from The Last of Us, man. She is very good. This is amazing, man. This is going to be, oh boy, you know, this is a very impactful character for all of us, man. Everybody hate, everybody love, man. This is, again, the hearts were torn for this character. And our last nominee is Miles Morales from Spider-Man's Miles Morales, an amazing game, man. So that is our nominees for Video Game Character of the Year. Now before we get into, like, again, chat, you're gonna definitely vote on the chat, and while you guys are voting, we're gonna deliberate with the panel too. Guys, what do you think? What do you think about these characters?
Can I jump on this first?
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right. So to me, it was a toss up again between Jin Sakai and Miles Morales, and I'll tell you why. First off, when I play a game, whether it's Uncharted, whether it's Horizon, even God of War, when I play games like these, I always believe in trying to follow the character arc.
Mm-hmm.
Do I sympathize with the character? Can I relate to the character? Can I understand where the character is coming from? Does he or she have an emotional impact on me while I'm watching the game? Do they spark an emotion for me? Mostly like where I can relate. Jin Sakai, basically, you followed this character from the beginning of his story without giving anything away, and you sympathize, even with the choice you have to make at the very end,
Mm-hmm.
you sympathize with his character because he's building his legend. And just watching what he had to go through, and, you know, he's dealing with this whole thing about honor, but at the same time trying to save his, like, country and stuff. There's so many layers to him that I really dug. And then you got Miles Morales now. Yeah, he's kind of new to the scene as far as like one of those last minute entries. The reason why I like Miles Morales, again, his character was a character for me, like, not just from the comic books, but it was a character that I really felt something for. I really felt like, even with that short game,
Mm-hmm.
he had such an impact. Like, you felt an emotional, like, tie when you're watching him and you're playing him, but you're watching him, just like the effect he had on me in the Spider-Verse movie. He had the same effect on me in the game, and that's saying a lot. I mean, him trying to honor his father,
Mm-hmm.
the relationship with his mother, the neighborhood, his characters trying to do better, and he really sets a good, like, template of what to do, especially in these days and times. But it's a toss-up for me between Jin Sakai and Miles Morales.
Right. So toss-up between Jin Sakai and Miles Morales. Now the hard part comes, Smoke. If you had to lean on one person that says, listen, if I had to side with for the rest of my life in a battle, in a war that's going to carry me through, who would you pick?
I would say I have to go with Jin Sakai because his journey was longer, and also because of the fact that you really watched as he progressed as a character. Now, Miles was already established from a prior game, but you were following Miles from the continue of his. It was like a continuance of his story, where Jin Sakai had a beginning, a middle, and an end, with the possibility of other things happening down the road. So you got a chance to follow him. You got a chance to play him. You got a chance to do different things and interact with different characters and infecting people's choices. And by the time the game comes to full circle,
Mm-hmm.
certain people are joining you because of certain things you did as that character, as Jin Sakai. So to me, I would say I'm going to lean with Jin Sakai.
Jin Sakai is the final answer. Civic, what do you have?
I mean, I have the same criteria as Smoke does. I mean, I think you have to feel something for the character. They have to be believable. You have to have some empathy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I take my criteria just maybe even one step further. I think that you have to have some moral ambiguity too. And I think that, when you see a character that sometimes you're just unsure of, like certain things they do, you side with, certain things you find detestable. It's as with people in our real lives, people we know that they may be our best friend and then they go and do something dumb, but we love them anyway. And there are characters in our lives. And I think that the one character that really embodied that this year for me was Abby from Last of Us 2, because here's the thing. One, it was a fantastically acted character. I thought that she was well written, well developed, and I think that the writing was it was good. If you didn't like the story, I don't think it was because it wasn't a quality story. I think people look, people manufacture a lot of controversy around Last of Us 2 this year because it wasn't the feel good game of the year. Frankly, The Last of Us 1 wasn't the feel good game when it came out either.
Right.
So, look, it's a tough story. It's a brutal world in Last of Us 2. There's a lot of moral ambiguity, and I think the character of Abby really successfully walks that line between being somebody who's completely deplorable and somebody who's frankly very righteous. If you play the game through and you really, really can suspend disbelief and place yourself in the character's shoes, I think hers is the most interesting journey.
Right.
Because at first you have an idea of her, and then as time progresses, that idea changes multiple times in a lot of different ways, and it even begins to eclipse the true protagonist of the game. So no spoilers or anything, but I thought that, look, I mean, I could be comfortable with Jin Sakai. I can see it because he's very similar. He has that same kind of moral dilemma and that character arc, which is fantastic. So I mean, in my opinion, he'd be like tied for first, or a close second. But yeah, I could make that argument for him too. The other characters are fine. Doom Guy is Doom Guy. He's probably the best version of Doom Guy. Like the Doom Eternal Doom Guy is an awesome version.
Oh, facts.
Everybody else on here, I mean, the player from Fall Guys is like it became a meme instantaneously. That without a single spoken word, that character became like a household name in a sense. People recognized it. So all these are very good. Miles Morales also awesome, but I think his story is just starting. I think that's one that's going to be protracted over time and told episodically and things. So you can't hate Spider-Man.
You can't. So to my point, and I'm gonna read actually a couple good comments from the chat from both Facebook and Twitter. I keep saying Twitter, Twitch. Jerry on Twitch said Jen did a lot for the age community, just as much as Miles did for the African American movie too. People don't realize that video game characters do indeed transfer to a lot of racial issues and such too. He also says, now he puts the vote in. He says Jen motivated a crap ton of people basically to their imminent death, and guess what? They didn't second guess having a ghost lead them into battle, take into account how many people in the game said for the ghost. That's a really good point. And so Cherry voted for the ghost for Jen. So, and that was a really good point. I like that. Now, in comparison to what Nicholas Panera, of course, our fourth host, Nick, man, he says in Facebook, he says, the theme of Miles Morales is be greater, be yourself. While the concept of a character taking up a mantle and making it their own is a classic trope now, Miles' personality and his desire to live up to the mantle of being Spider-Man was something every Spider-Man nerd like myself has always wanted to experience. With that being said, I have to vote for Miles Morales because I love Miles Morales in a way that, like seriously, like it was something that for a lot of us in the POC community, the POC community can live up to. Like, you know what? We can be great. We can be ourselves, man. Miles did that. He wasn't that, that perfect, hey, I'm the perfect Spider-Man, whatever. No, that he had flaws. He knew he messed up sometimes. You know what I mean? Even like the regular Spider-Man did. Miles knew he had it, man. Miles had to think about his family. He had to think about his friends. I'm not spoiling any, I'm not doing any spoilers.
Yeah.
But he had to think about his friends as well too. You got to put yourself in that situation. Like, what would I do if my best friend something? You know what I mean?
I'll say one last thing. I'll say one last thing for Abby before we give the trophy to Miles Morales. Speaking on the topic of inclusion and representation, I think that the instance that they brought up about Jen and Miles Morales, I think that's extremely important. I think that's an amazing observation. I don't think that that's not without its merit. But in line with that, I also think that the female portrayal of Abby was very important for that to include too. Because if we're talking about the concept of feminism, but we can only address it through the guise of framing it within a certain ideal that we as predominantly male players have. Not every female character has to look and act like Lara Croft.
Right.
Not every character has to be Chun-Li. Some of the people that really took umbrage with Abby, they broke it down by her character design or her portrayal as being somebody who is a more stereotypically quote unquote masculine portrayal of a female character. But this is framed again in a post-apocalyptic world where these things are out the door, that they're members of a society who are realigning their priorities and restructuring themselves in accordance with what they feel is the best way for them to survive. So I thought Abby was the personification of that. And yet she still has, she's no less feminine. She's no less capable as a woman. She's just something that's atypical for us. It's something that we don't see a whole lot of. But some people were fine with it. Some people were advocates of it. Some people were off-put by it. That's as with all things. But I thought the fact that they created her the way they did, I thought was cool.
Yeah, right.
So I was rooting for. I mean, I'll be honest. I was rooting for Ellie though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't have a problem with her design. I actually liked the design. I just didn't care because to me she had less. It was weird because on one hand in the story, she tried to be redeemable, but it was hard for me to see her being redeemable because of it's like you said, it's one of those kind of things that because they made it so hard where you had to say wait a second. But for me it was hard for me to sympathize with her, where I followed the journey with Ellie and followed her journey from the beginning. So to see her hardships, I think if the roles were reversed and I was following Abby's story from the beginning and followed her journey, I think it might have a different response. But because I invested so much into Ellie and sympathizing with her, I'm more leaning towards her because, again, but they did, for this I will say, with this game, they did do it in a way where they made it conflicting because when they expose certain revelations, you're like, oh, okay, wow. Yeah, what would you do if she was on a so but again, I was more sympathetic to Ellie. At the same token too, it was hard for me to sympathize with Abby's character because again, it was just like she was trying to be redeemable, but then it was like by this time it was hard for me to say, okay, it was hard for me to really sympathize for her.
Yeah, right. That's true.
The character of Abby in Last of Us, and we can move on. I don't want to kill us.
Right.
But the one thing I think that you have to realize about The Last of Us is that the main character isn't Joel, and it's not Ellie, and it's not Abby. It's nobody. It's none of those characters.
Facts.
It's not his brother. It's not the main character in The Last of Us 2 is revenge. That's the character. That's who they're all fighting. It's an internal struggle. I don't mean to get all metaphysical about it, but that's really the ongoing theme. And whereas initially you play through Last of Us 1 and you realize where Ellie, her loyalties and loves are and things like this and who her friends are. And in the second game, it expands that world into making you realize, she's lost some people. But there are other people that have lost their entire world. And there is an entire world of people losing their world. there's a bigger problem. So it's that whole worldview, and I think that's when you start to realize, yeah, Abby kind of has a point.
Yeah,
like, there's a bigger thing than just your personal little strifes.
That's true.
Okay, all that aside, all right.
Yeah, that's true. You know, real quick, like I said, I do. That was my top two, man. I had to put Abby in there. Abby was very good. Laura Bailey, the voice actress for Abby,
phenomenal.
was phenomenal. I'm glad she won as the best voice actress for the Game Awards, man. So I had to put Abby in there. Abby was really good, man. But the crowd has spoken, and the drum roll, please. The winner is Miles Morales, people. Miles Morales has won.
Nice.
So, congrats to Miles Morales, man.
Nice.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
wins an award like nobody can. Cool. All right, I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, that was good. That was good. Miles Morales, you know what I mean? Like I said, Miles didn't really get any love, man, in the Game Awards, but he got love here, man. So we're going to definitely...
He got nominated. He did get
nominated, yeah. He did get nominated. We got hit up the voice actor for Miles
Morales, most definitely.
Yeah, we'll definitely reach out.
We'll definitely tag him, too.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely tag him. But to continue on with our categories, next up, it's going to be a little something funny. It is the video game movie of the year. My God.
Ghostbusters.
There was only one.
It's the video game movie of the year. And the nominee is... do I really have to put it up, man? I'm putting it up there. The nominee is Sonic the Hedgehog. That is the only nominee because it's the only video game movie that came out in 2020.
Well, actually, no. Monster Hunter just came out.
Monster Hunter just came out,
but come on, man.
But it's just it's flaming garbage.
Thank you, man. Like, dog.
Garbage.
Like, come on. Right, for the sake of technicality, we'll put Monster Hunter in there, okay? Because here's the thing, man. It doesn't make any sense, man. You know what I mean? Like, dog. You know, come on, man. Like, ain't nobody gonna see that.
Let's talk about Sonic, because you know what? I know that there are. I love Sonic, okay? One of my favorite franchises, but it pales in comparison to some of the people I know who watch the show, and it pales in comparison to you, Knuckles. That is your franchise, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like, I was kind of like very hesitant about seeing the movie. I was like, oh man, you know, I don't know. And finally saw it. Loved it.
You loved it? There you go.
I liked it a lot. Yeah, it was genuinely cool. You know, Jim Carrey just being Jim Carrey.
Oh, my goodness,
it's a fun movie. It's cool.
I'll tell you real quick because I can go on a rant about it, man. I can tell a lot of people. Here's the thing about the Sonic movie, man. I mean, there was so many Easter eggs in this movie. I mean, we could talk about the stage nods, man. We could talk about when Sonic was playing pinball. And you see the pinball table, it was a nod to Hilltop Zone because it said Hilltop Road and all that. Nod to Hilltop Zone. Of course, when they was running through that epic chase scene with Robotnik and Sonic, man, they did through a lot of they did the actual Sonic Adventures chase scene when it was coming down the hill. You know, they did that. It was a nod to a lot of stages. That was like, oh my God, like I was like the kid in the theater.
They fixed his appearance.
Yes, they did.
They listened to the fans. They listened to feedback and they fixed the problem.
Exactly.
So, by the way, everybody that's all upset about Cyberpunk, don't worry.
They'll fix it.
When fans speak out, generally, things do get fixed.
Yes.
Generally speaking.
Yeah, look at The Mandalorian. That's all.
Oh my God, that's all I gotta say, dude. Listen, hold on, I gotta watch the season. Okay, I have to back out from that. But listen, the game was not a game. The movie was amazing, man. Like when they fixed it and all that too. Jim Carrey pretty much stole the show. In my opinion, he made the movie. You know what I mean? Because he made a believable Robotnik. I mean, the quirks, the anger issues, and he made it funny at the same time, man. I was like, this is a Robotnik that we all know and love. And as you notice, too, at the end, credits, spoiler alert, well, I mean, who cares? The movie been out for a year. So, spoiler alert, listen, he was getting a little bigger, man, when he was in Mushroom Hill. So, listen, it's going to be insane. And then the epic scene of the end credits with Tails coming out, too. I cannot wait. Yeah. So, you know they're going to bring out my boy. You know they're going to have to bring out my boy, man. And I cannot wait. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is supposed to be coming out, I think, 2021. I think in production 2021. But I think the movie's released in 2022. I think. Yeah, I want
to do a whole writing campaign with Paramount Pictures to get you in there as a cameo.
Oh my God! Please, I wish.
I want you in that movie. I'm not kidding. I want you like in the background doing something like.
You know, everyone, we got to have a petition of Knuckles to show up.
Let's start it up. Please, everybody, go ahead and tweet Paramount Pictures.
I will do that. But in the meantime,
this guy in the movie. Put me in the movie. Like seriously.
A well-deserved award here we have for Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie.
Yep, Sonic is the winner. Yeah, congratulations, Sonic.
Coming, what, 20 years or so after the game came out. So, hey, better late than never, but you got to go fast, right?
Oh, I hate you with the gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
Oh, my God. Well, we are coming down. Listen, this has been a great award show so far, man. It's been phenomenal. We are going down the wire. We got so many more categories to go. We are next going into video game console of the year. Now this is gonna be tricky, man, because again, this is a little bit kind of basically we're going to kind of deliberate on this a little bit, man, and it's gonna be a while. But I'm again, chat. This is your vote as well too, so I want you to put your vote down. The nominees for video game console of the year is number 1, Nintendo Switch. Very good nominee. Number 2, the Xbox One X. Basically, I was gonna say series. Xbox One X. Ooh, Lord, man. Xbox look the same now, man. Xbox One X.
Yeah, there you go.
Number 3, the PlayStation 4. Our 4th nominee is the Xbox Series X, that big old refrigerator. Number 5, the PlayStation 5. With this collar looking all spiky up, man. PlayStation 5. And then our final one is a surprise one, the Oculus Quest. That is our nominees for video game console of the year. So as we basically pretty much deliberate on our favorite video game consoles, guys, give me your input on the video game console of the year, man.
Do this one, Civ. You want me to go first?
Go ahead, man.
All right, this is going to shock so many people.
You better not. You better not.
I'm about to.
Mother. Are you seriously going for what I think you're going for?
Yeah,
he has to.
All right.
He has to.
Now.
All right.
Now wait. Let me make sure the title is right.
You got Bill Gates.
I want to make sure. Wait. Video game console of the year. So if I was going to go off of video game console of the year, console okay, of the year.
So not handheld.
It would be a toss up between PlayStation 4 Pro or Xbox Series X, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yes, I never thought I would say Xbox Series X, and why I'm not giving PlayStation 5 their just due credit. Well, a couple reasons. One, if we're gonna go with PlayStation 4 Pro or PlayStation 4, again, we had some of the biggest games that came out to end off this year, and some were good, some were bad, some were some pleasant surprises, and everything else in between. So with these games coming out, what did I play it on? I played it on the PlayStation 4 Pro. Okay. Now, as far as towards the end of the year, because I'm not playing my PlayStation 4 as much, I'm more playing the newer gen consoles, which is PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X.
Okay.
Between those two new gen consoles, I found myself playing Xbox Series X more. Why? Because the transition from all I had to do was type up my password on the Microsoft Store, automatically everything transfers right over. Plus Game Pass. You cannot go wrong with Game Pass on Xbox One. That means you're entitled to every game because you're a member of Game Pass. If you decide the game goes out of the queue or gets taken away, you keep that game until your subscription ends.
Right.
PlayStation 5 went through too many bell loops and hoops and all, and I'm pretty sure they're going to get better next year. So it comes down to Xbox Series X and PlayStation 4. So, what is my choice? It would have to be PlayStation 4. Why?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, PlayStation 4 Pro for me, because I played the most games, the most hours I put in on a game console. The way out the two, it would have to be PlayStation 4. For, not just because all the games and ending off the era of the PlayStation 4 era, and all the games I got a chance to play before I start crossing over to the next gen consoles, I have to say, yeah. So yeah, it would be PlayStation 4 Pro for me.
Wow.
Ooh,
I'm a
boy.
little upset. I'm a little upset that the Stadia wasn't nominated.
You know what?
Um,
You know what?
Yeah, because I thought it was going to be Game of the Year, Game Console of the Year.
You know what,
all
man?
right, listen, I have a lot of faith in Smoke. He didn't break my heart on that one because there's a clear answer to this one. Now, I think that Xbox is on the right path. I think the Game Pass is a make it or break it technology for them, and it's such a good move. It's been met with universal praise. I mean, it's just everybody's down with it. They love it. In fact, it's sending Sony back to the drawing board to come up with their own answer to it, which is good. That's good. Like people are like, yeah, see, Sony's just a copy what they're doing. I'm like, we're in an industry of everybody who's essentially borrowing and copying ideas perpetually and making them better, and that's great. Yes, they're stealing your idea because it's so good. Yeah, we want that too. That would be really fantastic. I'm going to give you the reason for each one of these why it's not the console of the year.
Ooh, really? Okay.
I'll just go down the list real quick. So Oculus Quest, it's great technology. I happen to think it's at the top tier of what virtual reality can be. But the thing is, PSVR is doing everything that Oculus is doing.
Facts. That's true.
So why not?
Okay.
Well, the only thing I'll say about the Quest, it's not hooked up any wire. There's no wire hookup. You get to walk around. You get to make your own play field, whether it's in a living room, whether it's in your home, whether you take it on a trip with you. You get to watch movies on there, both in 3D.
You do a lot of that stuff with the PSVR.
But the only difference is you're limited on where you can go, movement-wise, and everything else. Now, not saying that PlayStation VR is not good, but if I wanted to take this somewhere and have a variety of different things to do with it and not be limited or kept down from like moving around and all. Now, eventually, I know the technology is going to catch up where they'll do a wireless. But for right now, if I'm going with comfort and I'm going with something that's easy to move around, package, charge up and all, hey, it would be Oculus Quest for me.
All right.
That's a good point. So Civ.
It's a good system, but it's a distant fifth for me. Just is.
Yeah.
The Xbox One S does nothing for me. I think that console was a major misstep. They abandoned all the things that we all thought were going to be the great things about it that just never came to fruition.
Are you talking about One X or Series X, or you're talking about the smaller version?
I'm talking about the last generation Xbox.
Oh, you mean
no?
Xbox
the
One.
New Xbox is way the hell up there. First of all, I don't know that it really makes a big bit of difference for me, but I'll take the design over the new Xbox over the design of the new PlayStation any day of the week. Yes, I am not a fan. Okay, let's talk. I'm going to give you the reason why for me right now, the PS5 is probably a third place system.
Ooh, okay.
I agree.
It has phenomenal potential. Okay.
Yes.
Some of the hardware is unmatched anywhere. Okay. Anywhere. I'm talking about in the world PC, some of the stuff you just won't see yet because it's just catching up. Now, give it time because PC stuff has a way of, it's incredibly fast, so it won't take long. The controller for the new PlayStation is awesome. It is maybe the best video game controller I've ever seen because prior to that, I absolutely loved the DualShock 4. I thought nothing could be better. That's such a solid controller, durable and accurate, and I just love it. But man, the DualSense controller is it's sick. Here's what I don't like about the PS5. It's wonky.
The glitchiness. I was gonna say. I knew he was gonna say the glitchiness. I knew he was gonna say that. Man.
It's not glitchy. It's just not. Well, I mean, look. They said you could just plug in your old hard drives and all your games are gonna play. Well, that turned out to be a bold-faced lie. It is not that easy, and in fact, it creates horrific problems.
Facts.
I'm not going to get into it. I think I talked about it during the last show, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. But I'm not a fan of that because I was really looking forward to like plugging in my old external hard drives from my PS4 and playing them on the PS5 with all the upgrades. And instead of doing it, it was a cumbersome process. It deleted 50 of my games out of my store. I was bothered. I'm like, I think they've fixed it since then, but I'm not going to go back. I'm going to play PS4 games on the PS4, PS5 games on the PS5. The worlds will remain forever separate. I am not a big fan of the interface. I think it's bulky. I think that certain things like, again, they rushed it to market. It feels like a little bit. I know the whole COVID thing. I know the logistics. I know the chip shortage. I know all these things coming from overseas. I get it all. I like the PS5. I think it's going to be great.
But we got to admit that was pretty much a lot of the other systems as well too, man.
Yeah. But we already know that there's a blueprint in the works right now for the PS5 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's saying it officially, but originally they had said that they're going to release that concurrently with the other one. They said they're going to come out with like 2 or 3 versions of the PS5. We almost got a Pro version that came out with this one, but I have a feeling that because of manufacturing shortages and because of logistics given the COVID situation, I think they just tabled it for next year or maybe the year after. I don't know. But then we're going to get a smaller form factor. We're going to get a better design. They're going to work out the interface and all that. It's coming. But right now, the PS5 is so raw. It's a 3rd place system. 2nd place is the new Xbox. For all the reasons that Eric said, that is a great system. Setting it up is awesome. Everything, it was real intuitive. It's a nice design. Game Pass is great. Some of the games that they're talking about bringing out, they just look awesome, top tier. I think everybody's excited for it, and I think it's going to put Microsoft back on the map, frankly. I think it's going to be a redemption moment for them. But the console of the year is the PS4. That is one of the best pieces of gaming hardware ever developed, in my opinion. And so much so that we've seen now that it has a lot of life left in it. Games are still being made for it. Cross-gen games are still being made for it. And Cyberpunk aside, because I know that's its own animal right now, a lot of games it still plays that look equal to, what these newer consoles can do. It's a great piece of hardware. Anybody that bought the base level PS4 7 years ago, they're still playing it. They're still getting joy out of it. It almost takes a page out of Nintendo's playbook, frankly. Something that's perennial year after year. It's just doing great things. I don't think we're going to see that console die for quite some time. I mean, You look at it, like even the PS3 is still alive and kicking. People still play PS3. I mean, they just do. So, but I think pound for pound, the console I played more than anything, and the one that I get the most enjoyment out of, and the one I don't see going away for a good long time, it's the PS4.
Yeah.
Facts. Hey, you know what? Before I even put my vote in, the chat does agree. The chat is pretty much all around. PS4s, even the Nintendo Switch, and I was gonna.
Oh, the Switch is great.
The Switch is great. You talk about probably one of the best. I mean, Nintendo can only upgrade, and they always upgrade. And Nintendo Switch was probably the most phenomenal console as far as being a home console, being a to-go console too, which is probably one of the major factors that we're talking about. Things in this category. You know what I mean? That's differentiate from the others. Nintendo Switch has that functionality that we wish that the PS4 can do, man.
Yeah, I didn't even get to the Switch. I apologize because it was on the bottom of my page and it went over to the next page, so I totally missed it. So no disrespect to the Switch. That's a great console too.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know what? But the thing is, it was between the Switch and the PS4. On the chat, a lot of people, Stormy, Cherry, they all said PS4. DJ Osman's Prime also in the Twitch chat says he votes Switch, but PS4 is pretty beast. So he did vote Switch, man. I was going to vote Switch. I got to do the PS4. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do the winners of the console of the year. Drum roll, please. And the winner of console of the year is PlayStation 4, ladies and gentlemen. PlayStation 4 is our winner. And I'm glad I'm keeping my PlayStation 4 because, I need it. Yeah, I definitely need it. I ain't giving that away, man. Listen, that PlayStation 4 is going to stay with me for the end of time, man. I love it, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, seriously, like, you got to think, man. The PlayStation 4 has been a blockbuster console, man. You know what I mean? Since the generation. So it's great. It's really, really good.
Lots of good games on there, man. Lots of good exclusives came out this year.
Absolutely.
Tsushima, Last of Us 2. Like we could talk about all those.
Yeah, that's true.
Predator.
Yeah, exactly. So let's keep on going with our other nominees, man, for our category. Listen, we're gonna keep it going. So we did video game of the year. Let's do the wow moment. Wow! So we got the wow moment of the year.
Not the World of Warcraft.
Not the World of Warcraft.
The wow
the
moment.
wow moment of the year. Okay, this is pretty much.
Mark buying stock in Stadia.
You know what? That would be the wow moment because I did buy stock in Stadia. That would be the wow moment of the year, man. So I can't stand you, Smoke. The nominees are the wow moment of the year, and we're just going to pretty much just run this whole list down. We'll have any pictures of it. Number 1, Joel's story from The Last of Us 2. Joel's story. Number 2, Microsoft buys Bethesda. That was definitely a wow moment right there. Number 3, Sony and Microsoft next-gen consoles unveils. That was definitely a good wow moment. Number 4, launch of the Analog Duo console. It plays all the NEC console games from, if I can read this correctly, from the 90s, okay? So the Analog Duo console is released.
So it's a new console that just came out.
Right.
It plays TurboGrafx 16, Turbo Duo games, Turbo CD games. It's incredibly
and that's
cool.
A sleeper. That's definitely a sleeper too, man.
Out of nowhere, this thing came out. So like,
right.
only probably like a lot of retro gamers are excited about that. But that is definitely wow. Like,
yeah, that is definitely wow. Number 5, Billy Mitchell is still being Billy Mitchell about his disqualified video game world records. I mean, give it a rest, Billy Mitchell. Seriously, that's definitely a wow moment right there. And our final nominee is PS5 retailers open pre-orders going earlier than announced by Sony. So that was that whole wow fiasco moment. So listen, we can deliberate right here, guys. Man, what do you think is the wow moment so far that was mentioned in this list, man?
PS5, because the PS5 retailers pre-orders are going early. You talk about someone going to the dark side, and I can hear the Emperor Palpatine saying, do it, good. I can feel Sony's hate flow. I'm sorry, but PS5 or Sony started dropping the ball right there when they told the audience right after they're doing their presentation. We were live. The three of us were live doing the awards, telling everyone, hey, get ready, midnight. We're going to have...
But it was the retailers, though. You got to listen. It wasn't. We talked about this, though. It wasn't because of Sony. Sony said that, as of midnight, those retailers had permission to start pre-orders, but GameStop broke embargo 6 hours early, and they just started to do whatever the hell they wanted. And then Walmart followed suit, and then Target followed suit, and then Best Buy followed suit. So Sony did not have anything to do with that. I have to listen. No. I know I'm Sony fanboy and all, but that's the truth of that story.
No, listen. Like, did not tell you.
It's still just as bad.
Right.
It's still,
but
it's
did
still,
not tell y'all.
Right people.
Did not tell y'all that the day we did the show of the pre-order release, I said the night. I said midnight, and y'all got me on this one. I said midnight. They don't care. Midnight. Amazon's gonna release it, and they did. And I told y'all, man. I was like, no, this is not gonna release the next day. Amazon's gonna do it at midnight, and I stayed up all night, and Amazon did.
Look, I can testify to that. I wouldn't have got my PS5 if it wasn't for that.
And I put y'all in the chat. I was like, go, and I was like, yo, this was phenomenal, because I was on the ball
before the bots took all over.
Oh my god, dude.
That should have been another wow moment.
For real.
So these wow moments. So the Joel story, the big wow moment.
Yeah, go ahead, explain that to us.
Last of Us 2 was, if you played the game and you weren't expecting to see what you saw, you were probably like, wow. So that was definitely one. Microsoft buying Bethesda was a big move. That's a big move, and nobody saw that coming. I mean, on the heels of all the stuff that we've seen Bethesda do in the last couple of years, like, the whole thing from like Fallout 76, just kind of looking a little weak there, and then, to get acquired by Microsoft, and then all of a sudden out of the gate just start, launching all these big plans and everything. That's a big move. Microsoft owned that one. That's a great move. Definitely wow. I think we all saw that and we're like, wow.
Yeah.
The unveils that Sony and Microsoft did, like when they showed their tech, I wasn't expecting to be quite as blown away as I was. I was really genuinely impressed. It really looked good. I was wowed.
Man, this is gonna be a hard category. Go ahead.
It is hard. The launch of the Analog Duo. The console is called the Analog Duo, and for anybody that's not familiar, NEC, it was a Japanese electronics company, predominantly back in like the 80s and 90s. They came out with the TurboGrafx 16 video game console during like the 16-bit console wars. It was mostly Genesis versus NES, SNES rather. And there was a third console at the time. It was a TurboGrafx 16, and it was amazing. It was a great console.
Right.
I don't know if any of you guys ever played it, but man, it was awesome. And it had such a following. That was the first CD-ROM based video game console in the world. Had a lot of firsts. The game quality was awesome. You know, it didn't beat Sega and Nintendo. They were the two big ones, and they just played a third place role to them. But such a great console. Had very few bad games on it. Like almost every game was a great game. It had a great hit ratio. So for them, it's not even their design. Like NEC has nothing to do with it, but it's third-party gaming company made this thing that plays all those games, and like nobody saw it coming. Like even people like I'm in the whole like retro gaming community, and when that thing was announced one day, we're all like, is this real? Like what in the hell? That's a huge deal. So we were all wowed by that. And then just to circle back the Billy Mitchell thing. So he's Billy Mitchell. Do we have to talk about it?
Not really, but it's like I'm like, man, Billy, give it a rest, Billy.
Billy's the character. Billy's a character. Some people love him. Some people hate him. Some people just see him for what he is. What he is a very, very talented, albeit narcissistic video game player who is the previous official record holder of multiple video game records through Twin Galaxies and the Guinness Book of World Records. He used to have standing records for games like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong. In recent history, maybe about, I want to get my dates wrong, but like about 3 years ago, I guess there was an investigation about some of the evidence that he submitted supporting some of his world records, and you know, it was very questionable, and eventually it was made, the determination is that it wasn't completely forthright. Some of it was done via emulation, some of it had maybe some other questionable content that just questioned the legitimacy of his claims. So he was banned from those records. He was stripped of his titles, and he's been fighting this in court now. So it's become a whole court case. Jace Hall, who is current owner and president of Twin Galaxies, he's countersued Billy now. It's a whole big ugly thing, and it's not a fun story. It's almost like less of a wow story and more of like a tear story. It brings a tear to your eye because it's just a sad, stupid thing.
Yeah, right,
you know,
right.
I am not a fan of what's going on, and it's kind of a blemish on the industry, but whatever. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Wow moment of the year.
So wait, real quick. You said now what was your actual wow moment of the year, Civic?
Mine?
Yes.
Oh. Let me look at this list here. I'm probably gonna say. Man, I'm so torn. The Microsoft buying Bethesda thing is really big, and that has long-term implications.
Yes.
That really might be it. I mean, that was such a power move. Like, I think people saw that new consoles were going to come out. So, yeah, we were wowed by it, but it was expected. You know, I think that we knew that Last of Us 2 was going to have some moments that were really, like, jaw-dropping. I think that, you know, as it was a wow moment, it was kind of like, okay, that's what this franchise is kind of known for, taking big risks. Billy Mitchell, even that, I'm blown away that it's gotten to be this big outlandish thing, but we all expect this behavior from Billy at this point. Love him or hate him, he is what he is. So yeah, you know what? I was going to go a different route on this, but now that we're talking about it, I think the big news, the big wow moment, I think was really Microsoft picking up Bethesda. Yeah. That is not a small thing. That would be like, if this was back in like the 8-bit era, just to put this in context, that would be like if Nintendo just outright bought Konami.
Yeah, good
it's
point.
A big deal. Like, there's
point.
A lot of IPs that they just grabbed, a lot of good IPs.
Right, and you know what? And that's why I love the business aspect of the video game industry. You know what I mean? I love the business aspect of it because it always shifts the momentum in so many ways, man. Matter of fact, on the chat, I'm gonna go by her gamer tag, man, because I know she don't want me to go by her real name. Bunny Senpai on the chat, she agrees with you. She said Microsoft definitely buying Bethesda is definitely a wow moment. And I'm going to vote too. I definitely agree because, again, I love business when it comes to video games. I love it, man. And it always, that's the thing, though. It always makes me like chills and all that. I'm like, okay, what are you going to do with the acquisition of this? Microsoft buying so many studios left and right was another wow moment for me. I was like, Really, Microsoft? I'm like, dude, you play Monopoly or something? Like, this is incredible.
That's like some Disney level.
This is incredible
manipulation there. Those are big moves. And you know what? Feather in Microsoft's cap, they can usually make things pan out.
Right.
Like when they do things like this, it's clearly because they have an idea in mind. So I was kind of like, darn, being a Sony fan, I'm like predominantly playing on PlayStation. I was kind of bummed, but I was like, good move.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well played. And it was a great pickup.
Yeah.
What about you, Smoke?
PS5
retails, yeah.
Stand by that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah. On the chat also on Twitch, man. Low Life Stormy, she says she says actually Joel's story was an impact for her, was a big wow moment for her as well too. And then we got if people added the wow moment, Vegas Bear made a good never wow moment that just happened a couple days ago on Twitch. He said my wow moment of the year is Sephiroth's unveiling for Smash Brothers, man. And I was like, you know what? That's true. Sephiroth's unveiling was sick. Was really. I was like, what?
Now look, when that music hits,
dude.
I was like,
dude, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Again, hashtag Joy-Con Boys, man. If he was here, dude, he'll be hyped today. He'll be mad screaming. I'll miss him too, man. So we listen. We got our votes in, and the winner of Wow Moment of the Year is Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda. Congratulations, Microsoft, man. We definitely gonna be tweeting you.
So I actually have to reach out to Microsoft.
You have to reach out to Microsoft.
Good on you.
You have to reach out to Microsoft, man.
Dear Bill Gates, you are cool and nice. He's not there anymore, but you know what I mean. We got love.
Yeah, listen. He understands, man. Or what's his name? What's the president CEO's name right now? Man, I forgot his name. God darn.
It
sticks in my head, man.
Oh,
like, come on, he's Monopoly guy, man. I guess freaking somebody in the chat knows. Somebody in the chat tell me, man. There we go. There we go. Phil Spencer. Thank you, man. Phil Spencer.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. Trust me, man. Listen, but we're gonna keep on going on. Now we have. This is gonna be crazy. We have Flub of the Year. What is Flub of the Year, you ask? Well, Flub of the Year is basically the most garbage moment, the most garbage trash, the lowest of the lows, what you can pretty much put out there. What straight whack to you that was 2020? What epitomizes the year 2020? What characterizes the year 2020?
Who done messed up?
Who done messed up? And so, again, we're not going to put the pictures up there, but we're going to pretty much just talk about it, man. The nominees for Flub of the Year is Marvel's Avengers from Square Enix. Oh my God. Number 2, retailers jump the next-gen console pre-order embargo, which I called it. Number 3, which somebody got to explain to me, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity from Nintendo. That was a flub of the year? We're going to talk about that. Number 4, Cyberpunk perpetually delayed and had a rough launch. That was number 4. Cyberpunk perpetually delayed and rough launch. Number 5, Sony absolutely ruins the PSN online store. That's number 5. And to top it off, number 6, the end of Last of Us 2. So those are your 6 nominees. You got Marvel's Adventures from Square Enix. You got the retailers jump the next-gen console pre-order embargo. We have Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity from Nintendo. We have Cyberpunk perpetually delayed and rough launch. We have Sony absolutely ruins the PSN online store. And the end of Last of Us 2. Guys, I cannot wait to hear from you. I cannot wait to
go straight out. Cyberpunk. I had to see it. Cyberpunk.
So my question is, what was okay? So Smoke this Cyberpunk. What was wrong with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, man? Like, all
right, there's a thing. All right, I'll cop to this. I put this on the list. It's not that it's a bad game, but the general consensus amongst a lot of very, very hardcore, very lifelong Legend of Zelda fans, that game does not really hold up the spirit of the franchise as well. It's deviating a little more from what we've come to love and know about Legend of Zelda. That's it. I think it's a fine game, but people are starting to be like, hey, come on, like rein it in. Like, let's get back to like the core story. This is sort of like a real deviation. And one of the other criticisms, again, it's not about the quality of the game or anything, but it's just very, it's jarring in its presentation. It's just kind of, you know, I don't know. People love it. I don't say it's not good, but it's not the Zelda that people, I think.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, that's a good point.
But it's not even my pick. I don't think it is the flub of the year. I think it's not a great moment in this series history, but whatever. Going through the list, I think Marvel's Avengers was a real misstep. They really screwed. How do you mess up a Marvel Avengers?
Exactly.
Or a game rather. How do you mess that up? How? How, Sway? How? How, Sway? How? I mean, you have the formula for success. You have a blank check. You were given every tool at your disposal. All you had to do was just, oh, come on, make even just a halfway decent Avengers movie. People would have really gone for it. But man, you know, Square Enix had a really mixed year. They had arguably what is the best game of the year, and arguably what is one of the worst games of the year. I can't figure them out. I'm just glad that Final Fantasy is getting the love it deserves. Yep. Moving on. Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you why Cyberpunk is not the flub of the year.
Ooh.
It's real close.
Okay.
Wait. All I'm going to say is one word. Billions.
I know.
Billions.
I was just about to say the same word.
Billions and billions.
$1 billion.
That's a heavy loss.
Look at that. Yeah, that's my Dr.
Evil. That's next cosplay, people. Next cosplay.
Listen, I can see why it's the obvious choice. I can see why Smoke picked it. I can even agree with it. But in comparison to some of these other things, hear me out. Sony's just destroyed the online store.
Explain that too for the chat. Yeah.
Their storefront right now. Microsoft makes their storefront better. Steam makes their storefront better. Epic Store makes their storefront better. Sony is like, hey guys, we just don't give a damn. We'll just like, you know, shuffle things up. We'll just throw this part out altogether. Why put search tools in there? Why put filters? Why put categories? What are you doing? I would go into the store every single Wednesday for the last 10 years of my life and go, hey, what's new? And I would go right down. I'm going to tell you exactly what I did. I would go into like, what's new for Plus? I would say, hey, what are the deals? That's cool. Then I would go into like, hey, are there any cool new free avatars? Are there any cool like new DLCs for the games I own? I would sort things. I had like a regimen of how I would go through. Now, if you want to go online to the store, if you want to use like a web browser and go into the store, it sucks. If you use their app, it sucks.
It does. Yeah, I tried it. It does.
If you go through the PS5 or PS4, thank you, in the on console application that like links to the store, it still sucks. Mm-hmm. It sucks. You mother, it was perfect how it was. I want to give you my money. You're not making it easier. You're making it harder. All I want to do is am I taking crazy pills here? Has anybody else tried to get into the store?
I did. I tried.
One of the reasons they revamped everything is because they don't want to do themes anymore. They don't want to do background themes. They don't want to just like do like whole thing about avatars anymore. I understand that they're changing things up, but I used to love that you could go in there and sort every available game by price, for example. You could be like, sort everything by like, hey, what's the newest action adventure game? Mm-hmm. Come on, it used to be so cool. In fact, you could have just done a couple things just to make that even just a little bit better. Like filter out content that you already own.
Facts.
Something. I'm spending too much time on this. I know this, but I'm telling you, I'm super freaking pissed about it. I hate it. Sony needs to partner with Microsoft because Microsoft would teach them. Mm-hmm. Okay, because Sony is a hardware company predominantly. When it comes to user interface stuff, they screw it up every time. They screwed up the Vita. Remember the Vita?
Yeah.
The home screen was a mess.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
They can't make an like when it comes to user interface stuff, everything with Sony is like so freaking convoluted. It's like speaking French in Chinese. It makes no sense. It's stupid. It serves no purpose. I don't understand it. It's like they don't want my money. You don't want my money, Sony. You don't. All right.
It'll be so funny. If Civic was on stage, we had to cut the camera. Like, cut the camera too. Cut the camera right now, man.
No, I know. This is like my who went off that one year at the Oscars. Anyway.
Right. So that was a big rant from Civic. I love that rant, and the chat loves it too, man. So before I get to my vote too, man, we have a lot of people from the chat too. Miss Bunny Senpai on the chat says definitely Cyberpunk. She agrees with Smoke with Cyberpunk as well too. We have I believe Vegas Bear said Hyrule Warriors, man, which I was like, okay, that's interesting. The ending of Hyrule Warriors. Nick, our fourth host, Nick on Facebook says the Avengers wins. I mean loses. So he votes for Avengers. I'm gonna put my vote out there, and I definitely have to say it's definitely Cyberpunk. It's definitely Cyberpunk, man. Just because.
Yeah, I could be. I think. Yeah, it probably is.
It's definitely Cyberpunk.
But I think the one thing this has a little asterisk next to it. Of all the things on this list, of all these flubs, the one with Cyberpunk is probably the most easily fixed.
Right, true.
Almost all these other things, you can't take back. Like, okay, Marvel's Avengers is probably dead in the water. There's not much
you could fix that too if you want to. This is something.
They don't want to. They've already basically said
it's done. It's the same thing with, matter of fact, when the chat Stormy votes for the PS Online store. You can fix the PS Online store.
You could. Yeah, they could and they should. I hope they do. I think Cyberpunk, I think when it's all said and done, that's going to be the feel-good story of 2021. I really, really have a lot of faith. This is not some kind of crappy studio that made this game. It's CD Projekt Red. Mm-hmm. There are certain studios that we've had this discussion.
Right.
Game designers that are almost incapable of making a bad game. There are a couple, like Rockstar, Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch.
That's true.
Come on. Give it a little bit of time. I know it sucks that it came out late. I know that it was like, it is the flub of the year.
It's a lot.
Let's make it let's give it its award and give it a big hug. Okay. This is a so you know what I'm saying? Like you ever have to have that coming to Jesus moment where you're like, look,
Lord, we're gonna take a commercial break.
Yeah. Come on in for some love.
Now we're gonna go to, because the chat has spoken, and you know what? You can persuade the chat. You can persuade the chat, Civic, like really. And
Project Red's lawyer, man, attorney.
And here's the nominee. I'm sorry, the winner.
I was a boy. We didn't have such fancy games as Cyberpunk.
So the winner of Flub of the Year is. Oh my God! I wish it was PSN Store.
Look, it's having a glitch again. Look, it's doing a glitch.
It's Cyberpunk. Congratulations, Cyberpunk, being the most flub of the year, the trashiest thing to ever happen in 2020, man. But still, you made a great argument, cuz I swear, with the PSN Online Store. I can't win with you.
We did get Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
Oh my God!
Ashton Kutcher just jumps right out of the box. Hello, man. Ashton Kutcher here. You got punked. That's not how
Lord. Let's move on. Let's move on
Let's move on
from the flub of the year to the surprise of the year. Now, what's the difference between the wow moment that we did earlier and to surprise? Now, the wow moment was like, we didn't expect that. You know what I mean? We didn't expect the wow. Was like, what? Surprise is like, oh.
I think
that really making it happen, but.
It's not the flub because it's not bad. It's not wow because it was necessarily a whoa surprise. Yeah,
it's not like a mind blown moment, but it was something that was
like an unexpected,
thumbs
really
up.
Cool thing that happened. So this is a positive thing. Surprise of the year.
Surprise of the year.
Like somebody jumping out of a cake saying surprise.
Exactly. And again, remember, audience, you're doing a great job. I hate you, Spoke. Again, chat, you can also, remember, keep the voting up by typing in hashtag #IVOTE with the nominee right next to it, so we can count your votes, man. That goes for YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. You guys are doing a great job, man, for voting. Here are the nominees for Surprise of the Year. Number 1, the launch of the Analog Duo console. Remember, it plays all the NEC console games from the 90s, man. All the classic games that we all know and love. Number 2, Spider-Man's save data going to the PS5. That was a good surprise, man. I was happy for that. Spider-Man's save data going to PS5. Number 3, Star Wars Squadron gets free unannounced DLC, and it's decent. We did not expect that. Like, seriously, Star Wars Squadron getting a free unannounced DLC? Number 4, The Last of Us 2 flips the protagonist-antagonist switch. Again, that was a surprise moment right there and there, you know? Number 5, Ghost of Tsushima Legends. That was
Yes.
definitely a surprise moment. And number 6, which is my favorite, Netflix announces Sonic the Hedgehog series. Thank you,
Wait,
Netflix.
it wasn't the Vin Diesel video game that's coming out?
I'll put that as number 7. So those are your surprise of the year nominees.
You didn't have me.
Yeah,
You never had me. You never had your dinosaur.
So those are your surprise of the year moments. That was the launch of the Analog Duo console. Number 2 was the Spider-Man Save Data going to the PS5. Number 3, Star Wars Squadron gets free unannounced DLC. Number 4, The Last of Us 2 flips the protagonist-antagonist switch. Number 5, The Ghost of Tsushima Legends. And number 5, The Ghost of Tsushima Legends. And number 6, Netflix announces Sonic the Hedgehog series. Guys, you know what I'm going to say, so I'm going to skip my... What do you have to say, people? What do you have to say? Smoke, I know what you got to say. Go ahead, Smoke.
Ghost of Tsushima Legends.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most awesome news to hear. It's free. You get to play with not just one, not just 2, but 4 individuals, and you get to go on these missions, and you get to kick ass, and you guys get to like, all right, we're gonna invade this camp. All right, I'm going over to the left. You go over to the right. No split screen. You get to see yourself in third person. It was the bomb. It is awesome. You build the skill trees, everything. I had so much fun. It's free, among with already a complete storyline. I mean, and it's only going to get better because they're going to be adding more free content.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a nice, pleasant surprise right after playing such a great game.
That's true. Facts. That's a good point. Sid, what about you, man?
I agree. It's either Ghost of Tsushima or it's Star Wars Squadrons.
Mm-hmm.
Because, look, I mean, EA always takes a lot of shrapnel.
Yeah, yes it did.
They really screwed up with Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I think they knew it. I think that they really over-tapped into the whole DLC situation. It was just so exploitive. So for them to come out with Squadrons and make it PSVR compatible from day one,
Mm-hmm.
and give it a really good story and a really great, like, I mean, it is a multiplayer game. It's got a single player mode, but they launched the game for $39.99. Okay, which was cool because you're like, oh, that's nice, like a full-blown game that's not like, you know, like $60 again. And then they basically had said, okay, but that's it. Like, no, you know, this is the game. Enjoy it. That's great.
Right.
And people were like, wow, they're not going to do any DLC. They're not going to get, you know, loot boxes and all that. Well, not only did they go back on their word in a good way, they dropped that that enhancement to the game. It's not even DLC. They just created this whole other addition to the game now where you're getting additional ships.
Mm-hmm.
There's different modes now. Like I'll tell you what Star Wars Squadrons is an apology from Electronic Arts to Star Wars fans. Because, you know, like Fallen Order was really good, but I think they wanted to do something to, you know, go back to like the days of like, you know, TIE Fighter, X-Wing Fighter on PC.
Right.
Make it sort of an homage to that, and really sort of like a mea culpa to a lot of players who felt sort of, you know, like burned out and frankly abused from the whole Battlefront 2 situation. So I think it's either one of those games.
I think they went to Dave Filoni and said, how can we save the game franchise? And he's
Yeah.
like you did with the Mandalorian, and he just said, hey, make a Squadron game.
The only reason why I might put it over Ghost of Tsushima is because I think we kind of knew from the get-go that Ghost of Tsushima was going to get an online mode. I think we knew that. I don't think we knew when.
No.
We did. I don't know.
What it was?
No, you know, you're right, Smoke. I don't think they originally said.
It was a surprise because people talked about wanting it, and what happened was out of nowhere it just said surprise.
Yeah,
you got Legends coming, and it's coming before the year is out. So, and it was coming within like maybe a month or 2 or 3 months after the game's release, the original game.
Yeah.
So a lot of people wanted. That was the one thing, because a lot of times when you have these first line games, you get, you know, in certain games, open world especially, you get sometimes the request that will it be a multiplayer? Even Cyberpunk, will it be a multiplayer? So most of the time they need time to work on, you know, something like that.
True.
Here they turn right around like, oh, by the way, here's a multiplayer. We've been working on it for a while. We just didn't want to tell y'all.
I can tell you, like, of all the categories tonight so far, this is one that, like, I almost wish I could cut the award in half, because EA EA deserves credit for this, for what they did for Squadrons, but I definitely believe that Sucker Punch deserves kudos for what they did for Ghost. I think it's like the same thing. They both did something really cool. We beat up on these companies a lot when they do wrong, but when they really do right, and for no like actual like apparent reason, like I know that they want to make sales and sell games, but when they give you something and they hear what you want and it genuinely seems cool and they're sharing in that passion that you have for that game, that feels like that's something that should be rewarded. So honestly, either one of those things will be fine with me. I don't know. What are they saying in the chat?
They are saying a lot in the chat, man. They said, well, Stormy said Last of Us definitely got her. Was a definitely good surprise as well too. Also, for the people that's watching, all the soldiers that's watching at a job right now, man, one of the soldiers counted in and said Ghost. Ghost was a definite surprise moment, man. So we definitely going to put that in there as well too. And it's just a lot now. I really think because we're actually getting down to the wire. I kind of want to say definitely for me, and I kind of want to explain this too because we got a little time left. Netflix Sonic series is what we want. You know what I mean? Because that was a great surprise.
You're going to be the voice actor for it.
Listen, I hope they bring back Jalil, for real, you know what I mean? Like,
Jalil, for real.
Urkel, bring back Urkel, cuz, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'll count that, man. Bring back Urkel, man, Listen, this is what I was like, what? Really? I was like, dude, this is going to be...
I'm going to get the rings for you. All right.
This is freaking awesome. It's freaking awesome. So that's me. I was surprised with the Netflix, man. Actually, I can put that in there. I think you did, which was great because I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh snap, yeah, buddy. Yeah. But the chat has spoken. The chat has spoken, ladies and gentlemen, and the winner of Surprise of the Year goes to Ghost of Tsushima Legends, ladies and gentlemen. Or Ghost of Tsushima, listen, that was phenomenal. Yeah. Phenomenal. Like, seriously.
All we need is Dashiko to come on.
We did it. We're going to tweet him. We're going to tweet him. We are going to tweet him. Seriously. We're definitely going to tweet. So, congratulations, Ghost of Tsushima, man. And the people, I think Ghost of Tsushima is one. How they won a couple awards now, man? Civ got the.
Oh, boy. Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, they won. We'll do a final tally.
Yeah, we'll do a final tally, man. We'll get on with that, man. But we got to continue on with the show, ladies and gentlemen, because at the surprise moment, see, we keep adding categories in here, which is so funny. At the surprise of the year, we got the feel-good moment. The feel-good moments is pretty much what's warm in our hearts, what's warm in the pit of our soul, what felt good to you this year in 2020. Don't you say, Civic, that feel-good moment of the year, man. And
just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy.
Yeah. What made you feel all warm and fuzzy for 2020? Here are the nominees for Feel Good Moment of the Year. Number 1, Animal Crossing New Horizons come out. Number 2, Microsoft and Sony congratulate each other on their next-gen console launches. That was a feel-good moment, little heart, little quiet moment. Number 3, Among Us gets noticed 2 years later. Wasn't that a feel-good moment for a no-name game to get recognized 2 years later? Number 4, No More Heroes 1 and 2 coming to the Nintendo Switch. That was a good feel-good moment right there. Number 5, which is probably, I love this one, Miles Morales takes over as Spider-Man. That's definitely a feel-good moment. And number 6, Keanu Reeves enters the world of gaming. So that's a feel-good moment nominees right there. We got Animal Crossing Horizon comes out. We have Microsoft and Sony pretty much giving themselves the digital handshake to congratulate each other on the console launches. Among Us getting recognized after 2 years. You got No More Heroes 1 and 2 coming to Nintendo Switch. Miles Morales being the next Spider-Man, and then Keanu Reeves finally into the world of gaming. Panel, we got to talk to you, man. What do you think, man? What do you think is the... What do you say, Smoke?
Okay, well, again, it goes back to me saying that you have No More Heroes 1 and 2, which is one of my favorite games I loved. Going to Nintendo Switch unexpectedly because gearing up for No More Heroes 3, which is coming out next year. Mm-hmm. And for me, also, Miles Morales taking over as Spider-Man. Now, with that being said, with Spider-Man, first off, let's just say this. Feel-good moment was to find out that we were getting the Miles Morales Spider-Man game before the year was out, which was a nice, pleasant surprise. Not only was it a pleasant surprise, but how well the story was written and how well that you were able to explain how Miles Morales became the center point of taking over as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, if I'm going to go with anything, to me, a feel-good moment was playing as Miles Morales Spider-Man and having that of being able to play it before the year was out was a major treat. And going to next-gen console. Not only can you play it on PS4, but you can also play it as PS5 with hardly any to close to no bugs whatsoever. So that was a feel-good moment.
That's a good point. Civic, what about you?
See, I would pick two other ones. I really like that Sony and Microsoft.
That little digital handshake, yeah.
It's nice. You know, like they've done this in the past too. This is not the first time they've congratulated each other. Yeah, I mean, they're industry rivals, but make no mistake, there's the slice of pie in this industry is big enough for everybody to share. It really is. Like, you know, like I don't look at it as warfare between consoles and PC. I know some people like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I used to kind of have different opinions, I guess, but gaming is gaming, man. I'm happy if you're happy. Go have a blast.
Exactly.
I love that people have their own camp, you know, and there is a friendly rivalry at times, but about there being any kind of like actual elitism about as an elitism, I'm not down with it. I love the fact that, you know, to them, they already know where they're at. They know that they're both doing great work. They both are very confident in their products. I think they both have the consumers in mind. And both, I mean, Microsoft and Sony, but I'm not excluding Nintendo. Nintendo's right there.
Oh, yeah, true.
They do great things. They create great machines. You know, so it's nice to kind of see that, like, even in a time, especially like in the last couple of years when we've been very divided and everything is very antisocial and very combative with different things. And, you know, it's kind of cool when you see, you know, the two heavy hitters basically say, I see you. I see you. I see what you did.
That's true. Good
you
point.
know, like what do they say? Iron sharpens iron or
That's
something.
true.
So it's cool. Like, you know, you got to have that competition. I like that they have those little kumbaya moments. I think it's a reminder to everybody about, you know, why we have this hobby. The other feel good moment was honestly, I really like that Among Us got noticed. I love. Now we can't give it an award for like a game of the year or something like that because it's 2 years old. But that's kind of a cool thing that this game has been around for this amount of time, and you know it's an indie game, had no marketing behind it whatsoever, and just based on the merit of the game and the quality of the game, it got noticed. It built momentum over time. And it's this big sensation now. It's really cool. I cannot wait for that to come out on consoles. Right now, it's exclusive to, I know what, Switch is getting it, Xbox is getting it next year, PC has it, mobile has it. I hope PlayStation eventually gets it. I'm sure they will. But the concept of it's awesome. I love that. Makes me feel good. Like when an independent studio can create a game that's like a top tier game, and even like later after they were probably thinking, oh crap, like this just didn't really hit the way we wanted to, and all of a sudden it blows up. Like the right people discovered it. And I think, you know what, you know who deserves the award for that, who can share the award if we do give it to Among Us? Players and streamers and influencers. Because that is what happened. That game blew up because of you, the gamer.
And that's what it is too. And I was just about to say that too, because I'm definitely voting for Among Us, man. Because
yeah, I would. Again, it makes me feel happy. It gives me hope for the future of independent games too. I think it's a great medium.
And obviously the chat is blowing up. They're agreeing with you as well too from all three social medias. The Among Us. And seriously, you think about and here's the thing, real quick before we announce the winners, of course. When they did the Game Awards and Among Us won those, you know, like mobile game and indie game and all that too, man. Like you can see the emotion of those people, man. Like, yo, 2 years of us just hanging around thinking that this is a dead project, and finally we get the recognition. That shows a lot to a lot of game developers nowadays, man. Like, listen, don't shut it down. Don't give up as far as, you know, if your game is not getting noticed. Don't worry. Like I said, with the right people, that's why a lot of streamers, Lupo, Markiplier, Dashy, you know, these guys that are popular, they go out and search for these games, and they'd be like, you know what? We as a viewers take it in. That's a marketing right there from these big name streamers, from us that streams as well too. You know, that's a big name.
And the reason I want to, the reason why I wanted, the reason that I got hooked and I got, you know, interested in it was because I would see you playing it.
Yeah, right.
I saw you playing it on that was my first exposure to it. I saw some memes and then I saw you play it and I'm like, wow, this is dope.
This you know
this
what's
is a really cool thing.
You know what's so funny? And I want to read one comment that's on the chat right now on Twitch. Low Life Stormy actually says that Animal Crossing was amazing, but Among Us has a bit more special place in my heart because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have met all the friends like me and Bunny and Luna and all that, man. It's like it's a game to make friends with, man. You know, it's a definite game to make friends. It's amazing. Like seriously, like dude, and they always add in certain content too. Like I was just playing. Shout out to like Me Mug on the chat as well too. We was just playing a lot of modded Among Us games. Like we played like No Colors. We played I forgot. We played like a double twins mod and all that too. There's a lot of mods that we played, and it's so much fun. It's glitchy a little bit, but it's so much. Zombie Run is so much fun. Oh my goodness, they can put a lot of content, and there's gonna be new content coming out real soon with a new map. I mean, it's gonna be amazing too. So, listen, I can't hold.
Well, Among Us is my vote. I like what Smoke said. I think that this is another one of those categories where it's like anyone's game, but you know.
Yeah. Listen, the chat has spoken, Civ. The chat has spoken, and the winner for Feel Good Moment of the Year, and you better tweet them too because they deserve it, is Among Us, ladies and gentlemen, getting recognized 2 years later. All y'all are sus. All y'all sus, man. All y'all are sus. Congratulations to Among Us,
all your
man.
sus belong to us. All y'all sus.
I understood that reference.
All your sus belong to us.
I like it.
Listen, this is incredible, man. Listen, we can keep on going. We got okay. So this next category, if you're not a long time viewer of PTC, some of these nominees you would probably not understand. I will put the videos up when I get a chance, as far as the highlights of it too. But make sure that you check out some highlights on our PTC Gaming Show page on Facebook. As well as YouTube, as well as Twitch as well too, because we do have some highlights there, but mostly on Facebook because we put out a lot of the memes there and all that too. So this next category, and again, if you're not a long-time viewer of the show, you probably understand the nominees. It is PTC Show Moment of the Year. This is what happened on our show, but pretty much we could probably deliberate, and probably Nick, if Nick is still on, man. I know Nick has been through it for us.
Nick better have an opinion on this one. That's what we're paying him for.
So the PTC Show Moment of the Year. Here are the nominees.
Darth Vader as a supervillain.
Nick actually said that in chat. The number one.
It wasn't this year, but if it was
last year,
that would have won.
Last year. number. I can't. This music playing in my head. Number one. Guest Adam Square Painter Shub announces future band project on heels of Mighty Wing and Hadouken's music video. Now, see, I want to play the music video later, but we'll play it. You know. And we'll play on the show later on. You got to check it out. If you haven't checked out the music video called Mighty Wings and Hadoukens, okay? Like the Hadouken, the Street Fighter Hadouken, put in YouTube Mighty Wings and Hadouken, okay? Mighty Wings and Hadouken. You're going to say thank you, PTC, for showing us that, because it's an amazing fan video, a fan rock video. And our guest, Adam Square Painter Shub, pretty much gave it to us, man. He was like, listen, you got to check out our project. It was awesome. Number two, one of the guests, and I'm going to shout out to Nikki Loba. She was actually the guest that properly guessed it. Nikki Loba, one of our guests, properly guesses Duck Hunt with nearly no context during one of my game shows, one of my end of the game shows for the show. We're gonna probably do another Streamers Day or Streamers Month. Again, we're going to probably play the same game. But Nikki Loba, shout out to her as well, too. She guessed Duck Hunt with no context at all.
Of all the games you could ever pick, there was this little image, and Knuckles is like, name the game, and it's like it was like basically like the cover of the game where the box art was, and it was like the corner with like black, nothing. Like there's no context, and she goes,
and she said Duck Hunt, and I was like, how? You were correct, like crazy.
I mean, you should have played the lottery that day.
Exactly.
Because those are like lottery odds. There are millions of games it could have been, and with no context, you picked Duck Hunt.
So shout to Twitch, twitch.tv/Nikki Loba for the guest too, man. That was great. Number 3, Civic Minded unboxes the Final Fantasy VII Remake First Class Edition. If you can check it out, that's a great video to look at. If you want to see what's in the box for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, man, look at it. It's on our archives page on Pass Control on Facebook, man. Check it out. It's really cool, really cool. Number 4, MCKNUX and real life Peter Griffin hilariously live stream Sea of Thieves. If you haven't seen any of me and Peter Griffin's live streams of Sea of Thieves, please check it out. We was laughing. I mean, for real, that I missed those gameplays, man, with me and real life Peter Griffin, and we were just a bunch of buffoons, like seriously. So check it out. You can check it out on my channel, twitch.tv/MCKNUX. It's crazy, man. Number 5, the ghost himself, the voice actor of Jin Sakai, gives a shout out to us. All right, if you haven't checked that out real quick, it's one of our trailer pages. You can check that out, man. Daisuke, I forgot his last name. Daisuke, give us a shout out, man. He was awesome, man. And special thanks to Smoke, man, for reaching out to him too, man. That was awesome, man. Like seriously. So big shout out to you, Daisuke. And number 6, which was probably the mind-blowingest thing ever, the voice for Commander Shepard from Mass Effect, Mark Meer, appears on our show, A Pass Controller. Like he was our guest. When we, dude, I'm gonna tell you this. We had a group of people that was guests and all that, but Mark Meer came on after one of the segments, popped in, and everybody was like, what?
Blew up the spot.
Yo, Mark Meer blew up the spot. The voice actor for Commander Shepard. Listen, that's your nominees for PTC Show Moment of the Year. Yo, I gotta give it to you guys. What do you think, man?
Mark Meer.
Dude, yeah, Mark Meer was hard to top.
Oh my god.
You know what's cool? You know what's so cool about having him too is just, man, that guy's just so low key and chill and just like he's real passionate about what he does, but super approachable. Like he's really just down to answer whatever. He was real candid, a lot of fun. He gave us a good amount of time. I was really, really thrilled to I never met the man before. He was really cool to interview. I think he had fun. I know I had fun.
I had fun too.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Meer's hard to beat. MCKNUX though, God, oh my God, you and real life Peter Griffin.
Me and Rob, when we was playing,
we're grabbing booty.
You guys could take that show on the road because I swear I rewound certain parts. The alligator joke, the whole I was dying, dude. I was dying. I'm like, yo, these guys are too much.
Like the moment I think I clipped this too. The moment that it was me and real life Peter Griffin, we were just doing a 2-man. We ran a ship 2-man, and the great shark was coming, right? And I was like, and I'm looking at the far waters, and I said, yo, Peter Griffin. I was like, dude, the shark is coming. I hear no response. Peter Griffin disconnected, man. He left me on the boat. I was like, oh my God. I didn't know what to do because this is my first time playing the game. I was like, dude, Rob, what are you doing? I was like, dog, I couldn't hear him. I couldn't hear him. He disconnected. I was like, dog, I'm going to die. I'm going to die because he disconnected, man. And dude, when the shark came and opened his mouth and like I was about to be like freaking Jonah, like seriously, dude, like from the Bible, dude. I was scared as crap, dude. That was a scary moment for me, man, because I didn't know what was going on. But me and Rob, I really like Peter Griffin for everybody else that knows, man. It was pretty much comedy night when we always played Sea of Thieves, man. And again, like I said, the other one was for Nikki giving us the duck hunt too, man. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But
that was crazy.
Facts.
We were all just dead silent, like. What?
Like, you gotta be kidding me! Like seriously?
How did you know that?
You gotta be kidding me! Like, but definitely my vote. I think we all of us gonna round the table gonna vote for Mark Meer. I mean,
gotta
for,
go
obviously Mark Meer.
Gotta go Mark Meer. He was really cool. Yeah. And big shout out to Smoke for arranging it because I know he's hooked up with Mark. So that was really cool, man. That was awesome. Get
real quick before we actually say the winner. Well, of course we know the winner is, but we're gonna do the actual formal way. But Nicholas, our fourth host, Nick, on the Facebook chat, Smoke, you better get him too. He says, "Yo, how about the freaking Smoke breaking the chair?" That was last year, Nick.
That was last year.
That was last year.
Does not count.
Does not count.
If you want to see the
you
video,
had a chance, Nick. You missed it.
Does not count. But
if you
the
want to
night
see
is
the video,
still young, and anything can happen.
How about missed opportunity of the year? Being a guest, being an honorable a host for Pass Controller.
If you want to see the video of this, Keep breaking his chain. It's on the PTC Gaming Show Facebook
I have
page.
no idea what that's
Oh,
about.
for the love of God.
Dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen, we're going to do a phone away. The winner of PTC Show Moment of the Year. I mean, obviously, we already know who it is. It's Mark Meir, man, coming on our show. Mark Meir, I'm going to tweet you. Sid's going to tweet you. Smoke's going to tweet you.
Definitely
we all going to
Mark.
tweet you, dude. Like, seriously, though. That was amazing. I cannot wait to. We're going to post that as a little highlight, man, for everybody else, man. So, definitely for sure. Let's move on, man. We got soundtrack of the year. Now, I got pictures for this, so we're going to actually...
Dang.
It's going to be insane, man. So, we got soundtrack of the year.
This is going to be impossible.
So here we go. We got.
I hate you both.
I know. I hate y'all too, man. So for soundtrack of the year, chat. I mean, again, we want you to vote as well too. For the nominees of soundtrack of the year, it's Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Next is Cyberpunk 2077. The next nominee, Doom Eternal. Our fourth nominee, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Our fifth nominee, Miles Morales Spider-Man. And our final nominee, The Last of Us Part 2.
Somebody give me a banjo.
Oh my God, man. Look, those are your nominees, ladies and gentlemen, for soundtrack of the year. Chat, what do you think? Panel, what do you think right here, man, that is soundtrack of the year?
In the mortal words of Mark Knuckles Carter, yo, man, I hate you both, man. I hate you both.
I hate you both, dog.
Y'all suck, dog. Y'all suck. I got to say, even though I know a lot of people out there are going to say Final Fantasy VII because I'm living my fantasy. I'm going to say, as someone who loves the culture, and I'm living
my fantasy. That moment is going to be a nominee for the award show for 2021 when Smoke said, "You're living your fantasy." Go ahead.
Oh man, you suck, man. You suck. Anyway,
both. Go ahead.
It's good for me. It's a toss-up between Spider-Man Miles Morales and Ghost of Tsushima, because I'm going to say this. As playing as Spider-Man, as you hear that music, it does something for you. Every time I hear that music, I get kind of like a chill, it's like that moment, and it also has a nice little Spider-Verse vibe to it. So it's toss-up between that and Ghost of Tsushima for me.
So now, if you had to, of course, I got to ask you that big question.
Man, I hate you, man. I hate
you too. If you had to lean on one Smoke, who would it be?
Because it's so dramatic, and I end up downloading most of the soundtrack to my workout for my MP3 so I can work out to it. The soundtrack to Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh,
love that soundtrack.
I hear you. Smoke, not Smoke. Civic, what you got, man?
All right. There's a definite answer for this one.
Oh, for love of God!
It's my fantasy, man.
Oh,
these are all great. Doom Eternal's soundtrack is insane. I mean, that game. I prefer the 2016 game Doom. I think it's a better game. But man, you can't beat those soundtracks. I mean, if you're into that kind of music, and I am, and I know Smoke is too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm frankly surprised you didn't say Doom Eternal, because I know you're taking music, and I just think that game, it's known for its like hard rock tracks and it's like industrial feel and just
right.
ripping guitars and everything. But I don't think it gets the attention it deserves just for how good it is. It is really good.
Yes, it is.
It does exactly.
I gotta say with Doom, the reason why I didn't go with Doom because I love the soundtrack. Don't get me wrong. When you're playing a game, if you're gonna go into a hardcore battle mode, kicking ass throughout, that's the soundtrack to go with. I think with Ghost of Tsushima stood with me so much because I could not get the songs out of my head, especially the trailer theme. It was so just climactic for me, and all I see is like this pitches of the song that just builds me up, and I'm just kind of sitting there just like, so it was one of those songs. I had to go with the idea of what song has stayed with me to a point where I wanted to download it to work out to and to listen to whatever I'm doing throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that was a hard choice because, again, Doom, but I can't listen to Doom on every portion of, like, I can listen to Ghost of Tsushima whether I work out, whether I'm just chilling out at home, whether I'm doing whatever I'm doing, I can listen to Spider-Man Miles Morales. It had 2 or 3 tracks I really liked because basically everything else from the soundtrack pretty much stays the same, which is not a bad thing. But again, I go back to the idea. I wanted to download the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima
because
that had that much impact.
You know, okay, so these 6 nominees, you know, you could take it beyond 2020, and these are 6 of the best video game soundtracks of all time. They are as close to perfect as you can get. Cyberpunk is amazing. I was only 3.5 hours into that game, and already, like, the music, the ambient sound, the music of that game, it's great. Miles Morales, spectacular. Doom, we talked about. Last of Us 2 is astonishing. I mean, the first game with all the ambient guitar and kind of that theme, and it's so good. Sometimes you don't even notice it. Like, a good soundtrack isn't one that is it doesn't contrast with the game. It complements the game. It moves it. It amplifies an emotion. Ghost of Tsushima is just that kind of game. A perfect soundtrack. Perfect soundtrack.
That's true.
However, one of these games has what I feel is the greatest soundtrack in any video game ever made. Ever. It's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Ooh.
It's freaking perfect. The original Final Fantasy VII game, when it came out on the original PlayStation, I never thought I would hear anything better. And for the better part of 20 years, I didn't. Until Final Fantasy VII Remake. I have the disc versions of the soundtrack that I listen to, that I've, outside of the game, just listen to the music. It is the best orchestral original soundtrack ever produced for any video game ever made.
Facts. You know what?
And frankly, I'm going to be honest with you, the other 5, as good as they are not close. They're just not.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you real quick that, of course, in the chat, man, we got a lot of people saying, Nicholas, our fourth guest, fourth show host, man, he's saying that Miles, for the same reason for the character award, Be Greater, Be Yourself, it has a feel for Peter's soundtrack while being something new. It is Spider-Man but Miles. So the soundtrack was great. It's just converted to Miles' flavor, and I like it too as well. On Twitch, of course, Bunny Senpai is saying Miles Morales as well too. A lot of people actually saying that don't sleep on Genshin Impact soundtrack. They say it's really good too, man. So, but they say Miles Morales. Same thing with Real Life Peter Griffin on the chat saying Final Fantasy VII for sure. Is game definitely best soundtrack. I gotta put my vote in. I agree with you too, Civ. It's definitely Final Fantasy VII Remake because I bumped that the same reason that Smoke bumps the Ghost of Tsushima soundtrack, man. I bump it, especially when I'm working out, man. This is amazing. It's one of my favorite soundtracks for this year that I've been bumped to a lot, man.
The one differentiator between I would put Ghost of Tsushima and Miles Morales on one side here and say, okay, thematically, and I would even put Last of Us over there too, and frankly, all of them. I'd put almost all of them except for Final Fantasy over here. This is how we describe these. All these games have sort of a similar mood. Like you can turn on you think of Doom, you think rock and roll. Okay, you think of Ghost of Tsushima, you think of the sound of the lute and the strings and the flute and the pan flute sound. You have that. You have Last of Us 2 has a very distinct acoustic guitar feel, but I hate to say it this way. I don't want to say they're one trick ponies. I'm just saying they have a theme, they have a distinct sound. Final Fantasy has all of this and more. That is the most diverse soundtrack I've ever heard.
Facts.
You have rock tracks. You have the Asian influence of some of the songs you have in some songs. You have low key. You have the love songs. It's everything. My God, and frankly, God, I mean, what's a better song than One Winged Angel?
Oh, dude, yeah, true.
I mean, maybe the original Mario. That's the only other more identified. I think that's the most readily identifiable song in video game history. Is the first couple of notes to Mario Brothers. I think maybe Sonic the Hedgehog Green Hill Zone's probably maybe in there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy. God.
When you talk about all iconic songs, and that's true. Yeah, that's true. But there's a lot of other tracks in Final Fantasy VII that I would bump to, like the Night Market, man, which is so
Oh
fun.
my
Like,
God.
I was like, dude, I love
Dude,
the Night
when
Market.
they redid the Turks theme,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I
I was like,
this,
oh, why'd they
I
go
was
so
like,
hard
this
on
is,
that?
this
I
is,
was like, oh
I
my
was like,
God.
this is definitely what I'm not used to back in the day.
No.
But you know
No.
what though? I'm telling you right now, the chat has spoken as well too. The votes are locked in. The winners of soundtrack of the year is Final Fantasy VII Remake has won Best Soundtrack of the Year. Congratulations to Square Enix, to all those guys over there, man. Final Fantasy VII, man, has really, really taken up a storm and capturing our hearts and our ears as far as music goes, man. Listen, this is insane, man. This is insane as far as what we're going through, man. And we are almost to the end of the Game Awards show. We only got like a few more categories left, man, including the Game of the Year.
To the end. This is the four categories. It's gonna take us like an hour.
It took us like
It's
an hour.
all good. It's all good.
Listen,
rocking.
we got the graphics, the best graphics. And I'm gonna show some of the gameplay as well too, man, because that, you know, we can't express best graphics without showing any gameplay. So ladies and gentlemen, again, you're doing a good job voting for the chat as well too. Keep on doing it with hashtag I voted with the nominee right next to it, man. Let's go with best graphics. And the nominees for best graphics are The Last of Us 2. Listen, for a phenomenal game, Last of Us 2. So that's also a nomination for best graphics. We also have Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal also being nominated in a bunch of other categories, also being nominated for Game of the Year for tonight as well too. We also have Bloodborne for the PlayStation, man. Bloodborne actually not getting a lot of love, man, especially in the Game Awards, man. So Bloodborne.
It gets hit because it's a remake, you know.
It's a remake, yeah.
But then again, Final Fantasy VII is a remake, but I just think because Bloodborne was like a last-gen game, it's just not enough time has really passed.
That's true. Good point.
It just feels like I mean, it's great. It looks great, but I think
that's
maybe
that's a good point. Another nominee is Ghost of Tsushima, of course, man. Kind of racking up the awards here for the PTC Passies Awards, man. So Ghost of Tsushima is a part of the nomination as well too. We also have Cyberpunk 2077 best graphics, even though glitchy is all get out, man, but best graphics. I mean, listen, you can see the crisp, clean, detailed look on the characters right there. I like it, man. I actually kind of like it. And to top it off, we also have Mortal Kombat 11. Listen, because probably I'm glad it won Fighting Game of the Year, man, for the Game Awards, man. But the graphics, man, what in the world? Cause seriously, so that is your best graphics of the year. Cause a lot of good nominations, man. This is gonna be a hard one to deliberate on, man. Panel, I gotta talk to you, man. What do you have, man?
I'm gonna go with Ghost of Tsushima from beginning to end. I mean, it's just a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game. Detail. I mean, even when you're playing on PS5, it's even sharper at 60 frames per second. Whoa. All I'm gonna say is Ghost of Tsushima. The runner-up would have been Cyberpunk, but Ghost of Tsushima, because again, I played it from beginning to end, and it's a beautiful game. Just riding the horse through fields, and you're seeing the vibration of the fields, and then you're washing the water, and then you can turn around and you can change the aspect ratio. You can make your own photo. You can make your own painting almost, just like, you know, stopping and doing it. So again, I give it to Ghost of Tsushima all the way for me.
Excellent. Civ, how about you?
I agree. I mean, it's either Ghost of Tsushima or it's Last of Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether you liked Last of Us 2 or not, if you didn't like the story, if you didn't like the gameplay, I mean, whatever, you can criticize a lot of things, I guess, about that game if it wasn't your cup of tea. But I think almost everybody almost unanimously said that is a gorgeous game. It really does look great. But man, Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, everything that Smoke said. I mean, it's like picking your favorite child.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Sid.
No, go.
The other reason why I loved Ghost of Tsushima was because where Last of Us, while beautiful to look at, it was very limited in allowing you to go only so far. Where Ghost of Tsushima, you're like watching a cliff or a mountain and you're like, okay, I'm gonna jump on my horse. You can literally ride to that mountain.
That's a good point.
Get on top of that mountain and look where you were at before, and just look at the whole area with no glitch. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I'm living in an era where video games are made like this now. Who ever thought?
Yeah.
So, and again, I think if Last of Us gave us that open world option where you can really explore, it'd be a different story. But because Ghost of Tsushima has an open world sandbox, you can go anywhere in this game. You can fast travel or you can go the distance. Amazing.
That's a good point.
So, yeah. I gotta, again, that not to cut you off on that, but
I agree.
That was the only reason why I did not pick Last of Us.
I think the one thing that's funny too is that, like, in a lot of ways, Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us 2 are very similar in a lot of ways, and they're both third-person games. They're both very atmospheric. They both have characters that are very sympathetic in different ways, and yet one of them, like, to your point, I never even thought of it this way, but you raise a good point. Like, Ghost of Tsushima is more of like a sandbox game where the story still moves in one direction, but it's not, the game itself isn't on rails. Like Last of Us 2, and this isn't a criticism, it's just an observation. It's fine that it is this way. It's a little more linear. Like, yeah, you can like explore a little bit around the general area where you're at, but ultimately you have to go a certain direction. I mean, it just funnels you that way, and that's okay. But that just means that a game like Ghost of Tsushima is just that much more worthy of the fact that, like, yeah, man, they took that to that extra level. It's a massive world. It feels real. It looks gorgeous. Yeah, man, I'm on board. I think Ghost of Tsushima.
And the only reason why I'm going to say it was Cyberpunk, it had Cyberpunk. Once Cyberpunk gets really really finalized and tuned up. Again, that's another game that's a sandbox world that you can go anywhere, and you're driving the car, motorcycle, truck, and you're driving from you're driving in one city to another city, to the outskirts, seriously, I cannot, and I'm very excited about the potential, how far they're going to take with Cyberpunk. There's going to be so much coming out with Cyberpunk. I am looking forward to it. Just from my 30 hours of playing it, I know where it has the potential. And like you said, Mark, the detail, oh my God. All I want, and I think a lot of gamers can agree, to have that option to go either like Red Dead Redemption, have the option of going third person or first person. Because again, I've heard rumors. I don't know how true that's going to be, but it has been a rumor.
Expand on the rumor. Expand on the rumor.
They may do a third person mode where you can be third person. But again, that's a rumor I've been hearing through certain connections I have. But with saying all that, and that's probably down the road. I mean, again, it's one of those games that has the potential to go so far. It's just right now it's still picking up its legs. Yeah. When I think about games like Red Dead Redemption 2, it falls along the lines like Ghost of Tsushima. With Red Dead Redemption, I couldn't stop praising it back in 2019. How you could go anywhere and everywhere, and you could still play storyline. You would encounter NPCs that got stuff going on. The same with Ghost of Tsushima. You're breaking up Mongols from attacking villagers. It's like, whoa! It's again those kind of games when you know the developers put their heart and soul into a game like that, where it expands so much, where you can just, again, we're living in an era where, like, again, I came up in an era where games like this was only thought about in your mind. Like, yeah, they would come out with a game like this. So the fact that we're seeing it come to life, it speaks to me in volume. So again, I got to give it Ghost of Tsushima all the way.
What do you think, Mark?
That's a good point. You know what? And man, listen, as far as for graphics go, man, I mean, I you know what? You cannot fathom the beauty of the environment for Ghost of Tsushima. You know what I mean? It's like I said, I stood still. Like I think one moment, I think I was telling you guys about this too. I think I stood still playing Ghost of Tsushima when It was like that whole grassy fields and all that too. I think I stood still for about 10 minutes, man.
You just feel it, yeah.
Because I was like, yo.
Did you play the flute?
Yes, dude. I'd never experienced something so artistic in a way that Ghost of Tsushima kind of conveys, and they conveyed it perfectly. I mean, really perfectly. And again, the chat agrees, man. The chat definitely agrees as far as like Ghost of Tsushima. Lord, I've been getting people's. Everybody is. Listen, it's unfathomable, man. We got to go as far as who the winner is, because we already know who it is. The winner of best graphics is, of course, you know, chat. It's Ghost of Tsushima for sure, man. Ghost of Tsushima is racking up these days, man. Like, what in the world is going on? Like, Ghost of Tsushima is killing it, man. You know what I mean? Like, can we say that it truly was the game of the year? I mean, well, it didn't even win game of the year, really, man. But because
we make sure we send this all to the developers of Sucker Punch.
Seriously,
let them know.
Exactly. So now we go into our other category, which is and we're going to definitely explain. I'm gonna have Civic explain one of the nominees. Well, actually, one of the. Here's the thing: we're doing a Lifetime Achievement Award. Usually, in a lot of award shows, they always drawn to have it to one person that had the impact of the year. Well, we at Pass Controller, we don't give a crap. We're going to give it to two people, man. Like, seriously, you know.
It's our show.
It is our show. You know.
You're not the boss of me.
Exactly. Let's. I don't want Civic, man. Civic, you got the bio for my man Ralph Baer, man. Go ahead and give it a little something about Ralph Baer, man. What was Ralph Baer all about, man?
We want to talk about, when we talk about the Lifetime Achievement Award, I think, you know, to really be serious here, there are just some people in this industry who we wouldn't have an industry without them. And, you know, you can talk about, even just to what Smoke was just talking about, you know, the fact that we're in a phase now where we see games of the caliber that they are and the quality they are. It's something that when we were younger, we could only imagine. Mm-hmm. It felt like fantasy. And now, you know, we are living that fantasy, but it began with the reality of a few dreamers who really had this idea to take this kind of thing to fruition, to take an idea they had in their head and make it happen. And to the credit of one Mr. Ralph Baer, I think that, you know, we call him the father of modern day gaming. We call him the founder of video games. Now, specifically, the idea of a home video game console. Ralph Baer was born in 1922. He was a German-born American inventor. He was a game developer and an engineer. And way back in 1951, he first conceived the idea of video games. It came to him as something he felt that he could do, an interactive TV game. And with that idea, he developed the brown box. And that was a video game system patented on April 17th, 1973, and later became the Magnavox Odyssey, which was essentially the very first home video game console. So right here, we're looking at Mr. Ralph Baer, and in the background there, you can see he's playing Pong, or Pong-like game. Ralph created the industry. Now, he didn't single-handedly do it. He was the first of his kind, and then many others followed, obviously. But, you know, it's without debate in my mind that he's probably the most important person in the history of gaming. He made this what it is. He you know, born this creation later in his life, and you know, it was really, I mean, we wouldn't have what we have without him. So it's with a great honor, it's with great humility and great you know, appreciation that we give him the first ever PTC Lifetime Achievement Award.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Mr. Baer. But I think that he would agree that there is somebody else. I think that also deserves a great deal of appreciation. I think that their name is also just equally as important. Who wants to take it away?
Absolutely, I'll definitely take it away, because my man, and I remember doing a little small school project when I was young, man. My man, Mr. Jerry Lawson, probably the father of, I'd say the father of cartridge gaming, because basically, of course, he conceived the idea of the video game cartridge. He was born in 1940. He was the first to make the Fairchild's semiconductor, man, which is like an interchangeable cartridge console, man. He devised the idea of video game cartridges that led to creation of his Fairchild Channel F console, the first home console feature swappable game cartridges. Listen, he did a favor for all of us, man. I mean, first of all, he looks like my pop, man. That's what it is. You know, he looks like my pop. You know, so I was like, you know, I had to do this too, man, because I mean, this was like one of the Black History projects, man. That you know, I was like, you know what, this dude pretty much paved the way for all of us as far as what we play now. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for game cartridges, you know what I mean, that Mr. Lawson, you know, invented, who knows, you know, what could have happened as far as, you know, and the same thing with Mr. Bear, you know what I mean? Both of those guys, man, are the brainchilds of what we are today. And like I said, it was only like a few in that time period. It was like a few Black engineers in that industry, you know what I mean, that was doing the same thing. I mean, even though Mr. Lawson, Jerry Lawson, pretty much brought that out, but I mean, of course, we can't, you know, forget the team that's worked around him too. You know what I mean? And it's amazing too. I like this little insert that I've actually pulled up about Mr. Lawson. He says through the basic by today's standards, Lawson's work allowed people to play a variety of games in their homes and paved the way for systems such as the Atari 2600, the Nintendo, the Xbox, and the PlayStation. Thank this dude right here, and thank Ralph Baer as well too. Both of these guys for giving us what we have today. For just, again, I mean, seriously, these two are the giants, man. These two are definitely the video game guys that we all know and love, man. So we got to give both Lifetime Achievement Awards to Ralph Baer and Jerry Lawson, man. So congratulations to both of them, man, for their achievements in the video game industry. I mean, this is amazing, man. So I can't.
We can't wait to give next year's award to Michael Pachter.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, okay. We love you, Michael.
Yeah, for real.
There you are.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this has come down to the final two categories. It's first, we're going to go through the Game of the Year, which of course was announced at the Game Awards. And then lastly, we're going to go to our Game of the Year. Okay? The what was it called again? It was the other Game of the Year.
Game of the Year. So we're gonna do the Game of the Year because we got to pick one.
Yes.
But because it's our show and we're PTC and this is how we roll, we're gonna pick the other Game of the Year.
So let's go through the nominees.
White meat.
Let's go through the nominees, shall we?
We'll explain the second one when we get to it. But we should let's just do Game of the Year.
Let's do Game of the Year. Here are the nominees for the official Game of the Year. Of course, The Last of Us Part 2. You know, right now, Last of Us doing it big, and especially for the PTC Awards, man, getting a couple number of Passies, man. So good job for, you know, The Last of Us 2. We also have Doom Eternal trying to get into the mix, man, as far as you know, getting their name known for this year. It's been hard for 2020 for Doom Eternal, so we'll see what happens. We also have Ghost of Tsushima, a fan favorite, man. Now, Ghost of Tsushima can be racking up big. I mean, this is a major award for Pass Controller to win a Passy, man. Can Ghost of Tsushima finally sweep and get a Passy tonight as Game of the Year? We'll find out, man. We also have Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, Final Fantasy VII, of course, a crowd favorite in the beginning of the year, man. Doing their things, man. Bringing back notable characters, graphics-wise, soundtrack, man. Doing big things. Character development, man, is great. Story, everything about this game is noteworthy for being Game of the Year. We also have Star Wars Squadron pretty much being a very good, especially VR game, man. If you haven't played it out, definitely play it, man. Really good, man. This is definitely puts you at the edge of the cockpit of your favorite TIE fighter, X-Wing, man, and doing big, man. And we also have Animal Crossing New Horizon as our final nominee. Animal Crossing, again, being a very, very COVID favorite for everybody, man. Taking care of them and keeping their sanity as they play and get those beats, I forgot to get those bells and whatever they trading, what beats and something like, listen, I don't play Animal Crossing, but listen, all y'all play Animal Crossing, man. Those are your nominees for Game of the Year. Now, we're going to deliberate with the panel. Again, chat, for Game of the Year is very serious, so you please vote right on the chat right now. Say hashtag I vote, and then what game should take home the official Game of the Year. Smoke, let's go to you, man. Let's see what you got, man.
Ghost of Tsushima. Why? Storyline, graphics, open world, skill tree is so detailed. You can really, it's replay value, has an incredible replay value. You can change up your character in the midst of a game. Save options. I look for all these little factors. What makes a great game? Storyline. Was I sympathetic to the character?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Did they give you a moral choices? Yes. They gave you options to find and search an open world to take on many tasks. Yes. Is it beginning, middle, and end? Yes. Do you want more? Is it a potential of making a sequel?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And most importantly, a solid but free DLC multiplayer. What more could you want? And the completion, ending the year or ending the cycle of the last game of the console era for PS4. What better way to end it on a high note? And the other thing I like about it is not a remake, it's not a reboot, it is not something that basically has been done before. It's not a sequel. It is a brand new story, a brand new IP, brand new character, and it is based on some actual history that really took place. It made it even more engaging.
Mm-hmm.
So with all that said, wrapped in a nice bow, Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. Okay, I like that. Civic, how about you, man?
Yeah, I can't dispute that. Look, I'm gonna just start this by saying, I want our audience to pick this one. I'll state my case for the game that was my personal favorite,
okay.
But that's really what this comes down to. You can scream and yell and persuade all day, but the game that touched you the most, the game that you had the most fun with, you know it in your heart, and maybe it's hard to articulate. I will say that Final Fantasy VII holds a real special place in my heart. Like
mm-hmm.
I would have a hard time articulating. So much so that I would say, we had a guest on earlier this year, Brett Weiss, who's a very renowned video game author.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to give anything away, but I wrote something to him regarding my thoughts on Final Fantasy VII. Someday I want to share them with everybody.
Okay.
But for me, that is one of the most iconic games I have ever played.
For Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Well, the first one, yeah, and the remake equally so. Now, the reason why I would pick it for my game of the year is I just thought it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was super fun. I never thought we were ever going to get what we got.
Right.
I never thought they would do it, and I never would have thought they would have done it as well as they did, but they did.
Right.
That is a phenomenal game.
True.
And it's only the
true.
first part. They took a 4-hour segment of the original game and blew it up into a 40 plus 80 hour plus epic.
Yeah.
I can't believe how good that game is. It is superb. Now, I said earlier in the year, remember when I said I had already played it, and I said, I don't think Final Fantasy VII Remake should really even be nominated for Game of the Year because it's an impartial work. It's
right.
part one of a multi-part episode.
Mm-hmm.
So as good as it is, it's going to be hard to judge it so early on. But then I got to thinking, man, that's actually a cause for it to be considered.
Exactly.
How do you take a part of a game that's that tiny, an inconsequential part of the original game, and blow it up and make it a full-fledged, fully realized, extremely emotional, very rewarding, extremely fun, beautiful, great sounding, perfect freaking game? And they did. So that's my pick. But I don't want to sway the vote.
And
I'll tell you why.
Now I'm gonna tell you, because here's the thing. Because I'm gonna do the same thing, Civic. I'm gonna pick. Yeah. I said in the Game Awards, I said it's Final Fantasy VII or nothing at all. I'm gonna pick Final Fantasy VII, okay? And because again, I mean, just being a part of a huge story, and they gave it to us, man. They gave everything to us, like seriously. I want to read the chat, but I'm gonna read the chat after we announce the winner. Shall we? I want to do that. I want to do that real quick, Civ. Here's the nominee. Get your award out, Civic.
Oh, you're just gonna go and say who the winner is.
I'm gonna go say who the winner is.
Okay, cool.
The winner for Game of the Year 2020, not the other game of the year, the official game of the year 2020 is Animal Crossing New Horizon.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a flood
Who
of
gave
people.
that?
There's a flood of people voted Animal Crossing New Horizon
Dude,
and
that's funny,
YouTube
man.
and Twitch.
You know what? You know what? And I know why, because during this time when we've had COVID, I've heard a lot of scuttlebutt throughout the internet and how much people really engage and how much they really love Animal Crossing. All ages, all different backgrounds, big guys, small, tall young ladies,
Yeah.
all the kind of different walks of life,
Mhm.
even little dogs and cats, been playing Animal Crossing. So
So
to me,
yeah,
it's well deserved, and because also a lot of people, all I hear is Animal Crossing, Animal Crossing.
yeah.
Even though I never engaged in playing it, I've heard a lot of good things on it. So,
I heard a lot of good things on it too. And again,
it's well
it's,
deserved, yeah.
it carried us through the COVID. It was so funny because again, I'm reading the chat, but people also is texting me out the blue, out the woodworks, man, and putting their votes in too. So if you got my personal number, I hate you. But you texting and voting and say Animal Crossing, my God. But Animal Crossing has proved superior, man, as the game of the year. Like seriously, this is incredible. I thought it was gonna be Final
People have
Fantasy.
spoken.
I-
The people
dude.
are wrong.
Dude, I thought it was gonna be Final Fantasy. I really
Wait,
thought
are
it was
you asking for a revote? Are you asking for a recount,
gonna-
Mr.?
Wait, am I gonna be Trump? I ain't gonna be Trump, dude. I'm good, man.
No, it was not. If Final Fantasy won,
No. I want to see what. Let me stop, man. Anyway, we go. We are going,
I'm gonna do my bike.
ladies and gentlemen. We are going to our last category of the night. The last category of the night. It is the other game of the year. Now, this is comprised of 6 games that we, as the Pass Controller Coalition, have brought to you, and we want you. Coalition, the
I like
PTC.
that. I like your coalition.
You know, the PTCC, the Pass Controller Coalition, has brought to you, viewers, and these are probably the 6 games that made a big impact on 2020, in our opinion, you know, because it's not part of the official game of the years. In our opinion, should be deserved game of the year. Do you want to see the nominees, chat? Let's go and check the nominees for our last category, the other game of the year award. Here we go. We have, put it up here. Boom, boom. We have Streets of Rage 4. Now, Streets of Rage 4, I mean, talk about a game that everybody got the Nintendo Switch. I mean, the Nintendo Switch prices, not prices, the sales skyrocketed because of this game. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wanted the Switch just because of this game. You know what I mean? This second best to Breath of the Wild, man. But Streets of Rage, man, has been a popular game since then, and still becomes a popular game. Probably one of my favorite Streets of Rage games. We also have Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Now, Fall Guys, again, they came out with Season 3 the winter, and pretty much rekindled my love for Fall Guys. And I know a lot of people, shout out to real life Peter Griffin and Bunny Senpai, the Friday Order gang, man, because we played Fall Guys Friday all the time. And listen, the game rekindled my love when they put out the new season. It still packs a punch, for real. So Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, man. For the other game of the year, we also have Demon's Souls. Now, Demon's Souls is surprising, man, because Demon's Souls, again, this is a brand new game that came out, man. Again, it's a really, really good game. Of course, follows the on the Dark Souls saga, man. Follows people are loving it. I'm hearing good things about it. You know, I mean, you didn't get a chance to play it yet, but I'm hearing good things about Demon's Souls too, man. So that's been added to our other game of the year. We also have, as far as nominees, Crash Bandicoot 4: It's About Time. Now, I played this personally. I love it. This game hasn't skipped a beat at all, man. And of course, with the added acquisition of playing as Pirate Tawna, I mean, seriously, and her features too. This game right now, worthy to me, is definitely should be part of the other Game of the Year award, man. We also have Carrion. Now, Carrion is Smoke's game. Carrion, you play Smoke, man. Carrion is a very good game. I think it was available for the Switch as well too. I think for all systems. Now, Carrion is a different weird game, but a lot of people saying that it's really addicting too, man. Carrion is definitely a game. People saying that's a must-have game. You know, just from the retro graphics, the pixelated graphics, and you gotta. It's weird, but it's satisfying from what people are saying, man. So Carrion deserves the other Game of the Year slot. And our last one is Hades, the roguelike game that is taking the masses by storm, and was also nominated as the Game of the Year for the Game Awards as well too. Hades, definitely, I'm definitely play this, man, later on, because a lot of people saying it's really good.
It is. It's a really good
I
game.
cannot wait to play this, man. Again, this game has a lot of potential, man. It's definitely people. Like I said, the Switch is putting out games left and right, man, for people to play on. That's why the Switch is always a winner, man. In my book, man. But Hades, right there, is also nominated for the other Game of the Year. So those are your six. Those are your six nominees for the other Game of the Year. So chat again, put I voted, and put the game that you want to win for the other Game of the Year award. While we deliver it as a panel, go ahead, panel. What you got to say about this?
Streets of Rage 4.
Streets of Rage 4.
Hands down, that game's so good. I mean, oh man, I was blown away when I first played it. It feels like all the other Streets of Rage games, but just looks so much, cleaner, updated. It still has that feel, still has those characters, still has that same sound.
Yeah, yes, the soundtrack. Oh my goodness.
It's really cool. It's really cool. You can play like a modern day version sequel of a game, and it feels like it did 20 years ago, but it's a brand new game. It's again simple street combat, street fighting principle, like almost like Double Dragon. If people aren't, I'm sure everybody's familiar with Streets of Rage, but man, they just did it so well. It's really cool. It has a good replayability, has online co-op. I mean, I don't know. I mean, all these games are great, but that's the one. I just don't think that game kind of got as popular as it was on Switch. I think it got slept on during some of the other, like gaming awards. It just I felt like it deserved something. It really did deserve credit. So yeah, that's definitely my pick. Streets of Rage 4.
Absolutely. Smoke, what about you, man? What was your other game of the year? Streets of Rage 4?
Streets of Rage. I mean, it was a toss-up between Streets of Rage, Carry On, and Hades. I just got Hades 2 weeks ago, started playing it. I was like, damn, I can't put it down. Carry On, the same thing. But Streets of Rage, because of the fact, one, played it back in the day, loved it. And I loved, like Brian said, they updated it, they modernized it. It was like a continuation of the original. And so, yeah, the replay value alone. So, yeah, I have to go Streets of Rage.
Absolutely. And you know what, though? I mean, with a lot of these two, it was even between a toss-up between Crash Bandicoot 4, because, of course, I'm a Crash fan, like a lot of people know. I'm still playing it, and I'm still having fun with it, too, man. It's the replay value, the replayability of Crash, man. I mean, it's not like a standard just straight through. I mean, they say once you finish it, you got to go through the inverted levels. There's so much going on in Crash that it's hard to 100% it. I mean, Civic, this one game I know that you cannot platinum. That's one. Yeah. So I'm betting on it. There's one game that I know you cannot platinum. Civic is a platinum.
Do I hear a challenge?
I hear a challenge, man. It's one game you cannot. It's hard, dude. And Crash Bandicoot 4 pushes that challenge, man. It gives us that replayability again, like I said, man. It's just a graphic wise, and again, the added character in Tawna, and Tawna is so cute too, man. I mean, I love Tawna. Listen, I'm a furry. I don't care, but still, it's awesome. It's awesome, man. So it was between Crash and Streets of Rage 4. I gotta give it to Streets of Rage 4. Just the classics that bring me back in, man. The music. I'm a soundtrack.
We're finishing
guy.
The night with a unanimous pick.
I'm a soundtrack guy. But remember, we got the chat is voting too, and the chat is voting like crazy. But again, I'm a soundtrack guy. From what people that told me, but here's the thing: Crash has a good soundtrack as well too.
Yeah.
But Streets of Rage 4 soundtrack is it's unique and amazing. Where it just didn't. It's like it still gives that retro vibe feeling, but it modernizes it a little bit, man. And it's like I bump to it every time. I have the soundtrack downloaded, man. Like, of course,
nice.
I bet you all of us had a soundtrack downloaded at this point, man. Seriously. But Streets of Rage 4 was the replayability. Like, I play it all the time, too. Now, I'm thinking about playing it after the show. It's so much fun, dude.
Dude,
so
we should
much
stream
fun.
that, man. What's up? We haven't played that yet. Are you down for tonight?
Dude. As soon as I get some food, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, yo, we should do that, man. I'm down with that.
Stream it up, man. That'd be a good idea to cap off the show tonight.
Oh, that'd be crazy, man. But yeah, like I said, the Streets Rage 4 got me, man. But the chat has spoken as well too. I'm seeing a lot on the chat, man. We got to do it. Here we go. And the winner for the last category of the other game of the year goes to Streets of Rage 4. Yes, Streets of Rage 4 is the winner of the other game of the year. Congratulations, Streets of Rage 4. I mean, seriously, that was well well played, man. Because I mean, that should have been added to the mix too, man. Seriously, and they did a great job. Really did a great job too. So congratulations to Streets of Rage for winning the other game of the year.
Let's recap tonight. Do we want to do a quick run?
Yeah. Did you what you got as far as the recapping the winners?
All right, guys. So when it's all said and done, we had a good night here. Everybody got their votes in. Lots of big winners. So to recap, so we have best multiplayer experience, which went to Predator Hunting Grounds. Video game character of the year was Miles Morales. Video game movie of the year was Sonic the Hedgehog. Video game console of the year, the Sony PlayStation 4 video game console. The wow moment of the year was Microsoft buys Bethesda. The flub of the year was Cyberpunk perpetually being delayed with its rough start, yada, yada, yada. We're living our life right now with that. Surprise of the year was Ghost of Tsushima Legends DLC, which was awesome.
Yep.
Still is awesome. Feel good moment of the year is Among Us gets noticed. Finally, after 2 years.
After 2 years.
Big ups to them at Among Us. PTC show moment of the year was Mark Meir appearing on our show as a guest, which was really awesome. Great to meet him and talk to him. Soundtrack goes to Final Fantasy VII Remake by Square Enix. Graphics, Ghost of Tsushima by Sucker Punch. Lifetime Achievement Awards for Ralph Baer and Jerry Lawson. Game of the year was Animal Crossing, as voted by you, Animal Crossing New Horizon. And the other game of the year was Streets of Rage #4.
Absolutely.
You guys did it. We did it.
Yeah, we did it. Thank you for the recap, Civic, man. For the recap. Civic
Best coffee in the world.
And Civic's going to post that recap on our main Pass Controller page on Facebook. So if you want to recap the winners of each category, you can definitely do so by visiting facebook.com/PTC Gaming Show. But if you want to definitely watch this episode again, we will be, we'll definitely have the archive available on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube following the end of the show. Again, guys, this was an amazing award show. We cannot do this award show without you guys, and we will definitely do it again every single year. Again, this was our first annual PTC Gaming Awards, man. We cannot wait for the second annual that comes back up in December, man. This is going to be amazing. We cannot wait to see what surprises that we have. And we might keep the same category. We might add some new categories. Who knows, man? Listen.
Maybe the fans can suggest some categories.
And the fans can suggest some categories. We might ask some nominees for some categories. So do so, for real. But before we go, we know we have to do our end credits here. So remember, please share the stream to all of your friends in the gaming community so that they won't miss any of this info that we shared to you today. Don't forget to follow our other social media outlets, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch at PTC Gaming Show. Send us questions at our email address, ptcgamingshow@gmail.com. More importantly, we have a community just for you, gamers, called PTC Nation. You can search for on Facebook, PTC Nation, or it's right under our Pass Controller page. If you go on Pass Controller, scroll down a little bit, you'll see the banner for PTC Nation, so you can definitely check that out right there. Remember, PTC Nation, you can share your own gaming news, gaming memes, questions to us to answer on our next show, gaming polls and videos. Share your Twitch channels, your Mixer channels. I'm sorry, Mixer's gone. I got to cross that out. Your YouTube channels and Facebook gaming channels.
Of the year.
Flub of the year, right? Put your own, your Xbox gamer tags, your PSN IDs, your Nintendo friend codes, your PC Steam names, your Discords. PTC Nation is all for you to connect with one another so that we can all pass the controller together. Listen, this has been an amazing show, guys. I mean, this was so much fun to do. My suit is so tight on me right now, man. I can't wait to take it off. Dude, I can't, man.
I got a question. I've been wanting to ask this for the last 3 hours. You guys wearing dress suit slacks, pants, or are we all just...
Hell no.
Dog,
Yeah,
I am.
We're all wearing like boxers and sweatpants,
Dog,
right?
I'm in my boxers right now, man.
I'm in mine too.
I mean, why not? Listen, I'm in my boxers, man. So
I got my sweatpants on.
Business guy at the top, man. You know, and something else in the bottom. But yeah, listen.
This is why I love doing virtual, because you can pretty much on the low part.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
Listen, I feel a breeze in my legs, and it's great. Cause seriously, that's how it is with these award show, man. You gotta put pants on. Nah, I want the breeze in my legs,
It's a no
and
pants
I'm happy.
award.
It's a no pants awards. Ladies and gentlemen, this will end the PTC Game Awards show. This will end season 3. This was our finale. Season 3 is over, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back in January for season 4. So remember make sure that you follow us on all social media accounts, man. So we'll put the date up for season 4.
One more seasons of The Mandalorian.
Listen, how about that? We passing The Mandalorian. That's crazy, man.
Hey,
that's what we do, man. Listen, guys.
this is the way.
This is the way, and this is the way into 2021, ladies and gentlemen. Again, for Smoke, for Civic, I am McNux. This is the Pass the Controller Video Game Awards, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, get good.
And peace and hair grease, y'all. Peace and hair grease.
I still don't have a saying, but God bless us all, everyone.
Oh, God. That's such a civic moment. Let's be civil. Hey, I got one. Let's be civil tourists.
Yeah, let's just, I put the ick in civic. Oh,
Let's have a kind of, icky.
yeah. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. That was fun. Outro. That's what we call it in the hip hop industry. What that outro? I don't know if you know. You serious? Wow. Dude, that's crazy, man. That's where the spot is. That's where we need to be.
Yeah, it seems like that we're more popular on there and we get more traffic
Yeah.
on Twitch. And we can still hit all the other spots, but Twitch is looks like it's going to be our main food source.
That's what's up. Guys, I really appreciate you guys putting in the work for this one, because I kind of was like, man, it would just be cool if like we just did a fucking award show, because we've done like our simulcast with the award shows, and I just kind of got thinking like, why do we always have to be the spectator? We gotta be the news beat. I mean,
And also,
yeah. Yeah. And we
I gotta do one audience that we have a live audience.
yeah. Dude, here are the ones I didn't use. I think I sent them all to you, but I like this one, but unfortunately it doesn't work well. Like it shows too much of me behind it. So hold on. This is the one I was gonna try to roll with. Oh, see, it looks okay. Well, see, like around my neck and stuff.
See how this is behind me?
Yeah.
This is what I'm coming from.
I was trying to do this the other day. That's why I asked about like Facebook doing green screens. I was gonna do like, I'm your roving reporter.